note is the Jace really struggles to ever bring out the hammer form in this matchup, but that, you know, it's not the end of the world. You do have some very powerful ranged auto attacks at the same time, but with Disguise going through, they don't even drop a ward on the other side of the map. Instead, they're going to shift right on up. There is a sweeper coming through for Poom, so they might be able to catch out this ward and get a little bit of experience, but Disguise, you can tell they're already ready to fight.
Yeah, DSG are trying to utilize the strength of an Olaf Xin Zhao early game, even the Ashe as well. These are very powerful level 1 champions. Maryville cannot opt from walking in and asserting some vision priority here. They get the 1 ward up to spot where Perry will start, or rather, where he won't be starting. He's actually pivoting away from those Raptors and going towards the bottom camps instead.
It is worth noting.
Hello, sorry I'm late. I'm gonna be honest, I was sleeping. My jet lag is from the Philippines is pretty strong, so I'm all kinds of bamboozled and frazzled. But I see they were up 2-0, which I feel like is the perfect time for me to start my watch party. Because, you know, I just want to be here for the celebration. I actually don't want to be here for all the trials and the difficult part of, you know, getting good. But as soon as we're about to win, I'm gonna come on and say I've been DSG's biggest supporter since day one.
Spotted in their clears. The bot laners will scrap it out a little bit here. Poom and Manui getting the better of Zyko's health bar. The strength of the Ashe is so oppressive. And yes, Nautilus can dredge line you, but Zeri not known for early.
Merlin VP, thank you for the 29 months.
Earlier from Manui and from Poom. That's an early cleanse out. Scary Jerry, the turret does shoot Poom 1 time, but still,
alright, we're up 2-0, looking good. I heard we had a really nice comeback as well.
Always have to remember as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is early game. Surely nothing's gonna happen while I check what happened earlier.
You don't have a lot of room to win.
We're down 2.2k.
Have priority at the rim. 1 and 4, and with tenacity will
Baron Pit.
Oh, so we're at one point down 2k at 20 minutes. And then we turn it around. Not bad, DSG. We're looking pretty good. I just need to delete all the VODs of me like trash talking my own team for 10 hours straight the first 3 weeks.
Speaking of, Niles gets a good trade onto Tenacity right there. Well done.
Oh man, the rant might come out. If Tenacity stays and dies here, I'm gonna start ranting again. I'm gonna forget about the fact that we're up 2-0, and now I'm gonna get mad. Mark, thank you for the 38 months.
It does feel as though DSG need to be very proactive right now. I love the fact that Spyrex knows that, hey, if there's gonna be any plays coming out from the Xin Zhao, it should be coming from the top side of the map, because he started on the bottom side. We did not see him do those Raptors early on, so he will be over there. Here comes the first hook.
There's the dredge line, powerful onto Manui, but you can't overcommit onto it because of the DPS of the Ashe and the Nila, so they back off. But still, nice.
I don't know what the team has changed, but they've been looking pretty good.
Manui is low.
Uh-oh.
This needs to work. There's a flash.
Oh!
Nice cleanse. Wait, the ghost comes out instant too.
Animation that I saw. We'll have to get confirmation on that. But either way, Manui in a really rough spot.
They got him.
Oh, he gets chunked even more. First blood for Zyko.
Okay, we get one. We get one. Wait. Oh, 2 for 2?
2 for 2.
2 for 2 is not bad. 2 for 2 is not bad.
They did survive. Yeah, Niles doesn't go down. So interesting dive. Not exactly how Maryville wanted that one to go.
But crucially, all of this experience and gold was lost to Manui. He didn't get any kill participation. He didn't get any of these minions. And so even though it's a 2 for 2,
okay, 2 for 2, that means it was salvage. It's still good for Maryville, but oh wow, he flashed that.
Niles could have been in trouble, so the respect flash comes through. But let's get another look.
But Young's getting extra CS and XP, so that's good.
Gets the kill. I'm wondering if he was actually looking for Poom there. But it was very, very close series of plays.
Yeah, I mean, either way, as they go in,
nice cleanse.
Both the root and the ignite coming off, and then Yuji comes through. But the big thing here is as soon as this zap lands, it's a kill. It's just about who it goes over to, and yeah, it like goes through Poom.
It hits.
Yeah, that didn't make any sense. If UG started taking up after Scary Jerry, it's also much better, but it's really hard to coordinate that.
Okay, 2 kills on Ash. Is that good? It's because this support Ash, just support Ash do damage.
It looks like a trade of objectives here. So 2 for 2 kills, basically even gold traded and even objective traded means that
2 kills on our support is usually bad. They got 1 on their Zeri, 1 on their not.
What we are going to be looking at is Zyko and Scary Jerry do have Poom that they can try and prey on, but Poom got a lot of experience. He's getting more because he is in the Nilo lane, right? He is going to be hitting level 6 faster than the members of Scary Jerry and Zyko, and that's when you start fishing with that Enchanted Crystal Arrow. That's when you start looking for opportunities to set things up, because the burst combination between Poom and Manui becomes ridiculous in the next couple of minutes. And you can also start throwing it out on the rest of the map, because Disguised have the tools. They have the priority in so many lanes to start playing for all of these ganks, and good job from Perry to try and dodge out from the vision.
Yeah, he was trying, but that ward in the Pixel Brush will give Niles the information. He didn't have flash, so I love the idea of trying to play towards the Crocodile right now. But Niles saw it coming and keeps himself covered with a vision.
That 1K, not that bad. It's early.
Can actually confidently walk up here.
The Nila pick
Nila's still a tough champion to dive, though, with Jubilant Veil, her W available.
Is unexpected.
Her, so
remember, this is fearless format, which means you can't play a champion you've played before. And in a best of 3, at most it's 10 champions at game 3. But this is a best of 5. So by the 5th game, there's like 20 champions you can't play on each team.
Both hitting level 6 early because of the benefits of the Nila.
So your champ pool needs to be essentially minimum 5 champions deep.
A little bit more aggression.
And this is the NACL. This is the American League of Legends. Most people just play 3 characters.
Behind, becomes very difficult for them to come back.
Scary Jerry's gonna have to be quick with that cleanse. If Enchanted Crystal Arrow plus Apotheosis combo lands onto him, the Ashe plus Nila ultimates is a lot of damage that they're going to be able to output on top of you. So Zyko's not with them right now, but now we'll head back towards the bottom side. Manui gets a reset, picks up the
chat. What does Nila's ult do?
That damage up, even though falling fairly.
I've never seen Nila.
Scary Jerry does have more.
I know in TFT she heals people around her.
Oh, top side, Niles.
Oh no, Tenacity!
He's gonna have to take his way out of this, but
Tenacity! Tenacity! How many times?
Finally, we're seeing Niles, who was the
How many times? I don't watch the games you pop off. I watch the game, suddenly it's another 1v1 ego battle.
Again,
the Croc was at half health. You weren't even close.
I like the initial build from Niles too. The Grievous wounds immediately, meaning that in that 1v1, he's just going to have so much threat. Ash Arrow through Fog of War, but doesn't land. Likes the angle of that, but Niles doesn't greed for a second plate.
Yeah. I mean, the other part of
he's feeling himself a little too much. I know you're him. You've proven that you can be him, but you can't be him all the time. Sometimes you need to take a break from being him.
Enchanted Crystal Arrow is down, and Scary Jerry and Zyko can get a little bit of a freeze down here. They can buy more time for this bottom lane to abuse.
That's right. I believe in Young. The Young Master.
In that hammer form, which you had mentioned. Tough to do into the Ahri matchup, so good there. Now, Scary Jerry pops
nice dash.
Down, but can't get
nice heal.
Yeah, that's 2 ultimates coming through.
Actually, the heal might have been unnecessary, right? It was really reactive.
We'll have a lot of tools, but look at this. Tenacity hanging out in the mid lane, expecting more aggression potentially come through from Spyrax, and not willing to wait for it. And
uh-oh. Careful, careful, careful. It's not a trap we're setting for them. It's a trap they're setting for us. Look out!
The Nautilus. Maybe they can catch
okay,
him.
We're
He
fine.
buffers the charm with the Dredge line, but Yuji's actually not in the fight yet. Can't get over that wall, and now he's going to be spotted. Dredge line lands, though. They got in onto Poom.
Oh, nice knockback. Scary Jerry. Poom needs to flash out.
Young went in when he needed to go out. DSG lose their mid laner. They're going to lose their jungler. Niles with the flash stun. Guaranteed.
Guys, we're down 3k gold at 10 minutes. What happened?
Just as we were talking about before, Kangas, this lead coming through for Maryville
what happened?
Is not
we're up 2-0 in the series playing like this.
Lost from this position before, and now
I turned on my stream because I thought it was raps, and it would only be positive vibes.
Are going to be because we know Scary Jerry and Zyko, they have done their job. They have found an opportunity to have a lead when perhaps they're not.
What changed between game 2 and game 3?
Online, when will he have this collector and the opportunity to start firing right on back? Because it starts off, looks all right. You're never really killing Zyko from this position, but Disguise, they just stick around a little bit too long, and then the hook landing onto Boom of all people becomes a huge problem.
Best member for that to hit, and it forces Young, or pressures rather, Young to think, I gotta go forward because Poom could be in trouble. Yuji's on the flank, maybe I can kill Zyko or kill Spyrax. Didn't have enough in the tank.
It's fine, it's fine. We get Dragon. We get 4 Dragon, that's Inferno, so.
The Dragon, and they will claim their second drag of the game. They can keep stacking these up.
Okay, you know, at least we're getting the drags. You know, it's all good.
Ocean Soul in the top left, we can see.
Okay, and now Spyrax up top lane looking for Tenacity as well. They are spotted out. Can he live?
We've been doing a lot of comebacks. We're good at. No, where are you going?
He led MU to the safety away from the turret and away.
Where are you going, Tenacity?
Still go down. MU pull off the dive.
We wasted a TP to help him. No.
They're able to push it forward,
yo, we need to just chill, man. Everyone just needs to chill. We've come back before.
I mean, why not? There's a teleport for Tenacity, though, so they got to do this fast. And I think it's wise to back off.
Yeah. Is Niles the player that Tyler one shit talked for 10 minutes straight?
So they're trying to maximize.
There was a clip going around on Twitter, and Tyler one dropping like non-stop insults because he queued into this Niles guy in solo queue. It was pretty mean. It was like, there's a reason you never made it to the LCS for the last 10 years of your life. You failure. It was like, whoa.
Navigating all of them. Now, Disguise are in a position
where he went pretty hard.
Better than Maryville. The Jace, one of the best.
But because Niles is on the enemy team, I'm gonna agree with everything Tyler once said.
To blow up members during these fights.
With zero context or understanding.
They can all get blown up. Yeah, Poom. Always the supports, especially on these squishy champions, just trying to get vision down for the team and get picked out by the enemy. And now Yuji hits the ultimate there onto Tenacity at the very tail of it. Spyrax goes
nice, that's one. We got one.
And he finds a kill.
Traded. We'll take it. We'll take the trade at this point. Guys, we can't come back if we just pull our heads out of our asses.
The fact that Poom gets caught out just moving between, it's one of the downfalls that you oftentimes see for these Ashe supports, for the Varus and Caitlyn supports that we've seen in the past. As soon as you start falling behind, there's nowhere safe for you to go. In Disguise, they need to find every single part. I think the funniest part of this is when Poom gets caught, he throws out the arrow onto Spyrax. And I think that's where his camera was this entire time in the first place. Because as it goes, it just doesn't hit you.
Wow, that arrow
but it hits Spyrax, and that is what allows Disguise to even bring people in range in the first place.
Yeah, and also I think they get a little baited because of Nature's Grasp landing. I mean, they'll lose one. I think it's fine for Spyrax to go down there. They're still happy with it. They lose teleport for Niles as well, so I suppose that's important to track. Won't have as much global pressure, but it all started with, like you said, Poom on a squishy support. Very dangerous to walk alone in the jungle when you don't have any vision down. Now Zyko, is he just going to try and stop some backs? Yeah. Zap will keep him safe.
Everybody will be okay across the board. But it does look like, so there is all 6 grubs coming through for Maryville. That is the Grubageddon, and they're looking once again.
Oh!
I was going to say, Poom, you have to know that there's a ward in there based on what just happened, but you get away. Nice.
Yeah. And now Yuji hitting the Rift Herald as well. This is one thing that Maryville has done very well, especially during the laning phase, is as they start moving around, they do have a really good sense of when people can punish them for their roams. And when everybody went to the mid lane, there's no pushing on the side lanes for Disguise. Nobody was top lane, nobody was pushing in the bottom lane because Scary Jerry had already pushed that one in. This time, yet again, they're the first ones to the Rift Herald, and they know that there's nothing that they're really giving up.
Like, I've seen us come back before. We come back 8K gold down against Team Liquid. We just need... We need people to kind of just pay attention.
Game 1 and 2, it felt like Disguise were actually a little bit ahead or trading up.
Thank you for the sub, Lee, Nathan, and Captain.
I think it's good news for Maryville to turn that around. It was concerning to see that in the first 2, but this is what the team had kind of made a reputation for in the regular season. Struggling more in playoffs than they had then. But we had them as heavy favorites coming into playoffs in general. It was kind of like, okay, is it a 2-horse race? Maybe Supernova's up there as well, but it's FlyQuest and Maryville as the top dogs. Now with their backs against the wall, it's good to see fights still in Maryville. You were right, last game they had a lead as well, but this game they also have the scaling advantage. So I'm seeing less options. DSG don't have this smolder in their back pocket. They can just win them a game if they get to the right point.
Yeah. It's also worth noting that if you want to stop a reverse sweep, it's way more important that you stop them here, right? As soon as the momentum starts building the other direction, especially if this game takes a while, this guy's going to struggle to stop it.
Good dredge line. Young's jumping in here, trying to look for the charm.
Wow, the dredge lines are crazy to get out of danger. We still got him. We spent so much on that.
Their Nexon's big. He flashes in, trying to get some damage in there, but he is not with the team.
Okay, chill, guys, chill. It's a 5v4. We used pretty much 10 ults, 20 flashes to kill a support not. Like, look at the cooldowns on our team. Oh my god, we just ate a ball to the face. I think we lose this 5v4 for sure.
True, and they also have the Herald in the mid lane, so they don't even need to win the fight. They just need to stall time.
We're trying to steal this drag.
Keep DSG from taking the dragon as quickly as possible. Maybe look for the smite steal. Yuji's there.
Yes, okay. Back it up. Chill. We got free flash as well. Get out. Just get out and live. Okay. We're playing around the soul.
They lose the dragon, but they are still trading other things on the map.
We also got to point out that Spyrax.
Wait, Herald summons 20 point rubs?
Young, but a great flash keeps him alive and makes sure that Disguise, even though they get the dragon,
they're gonna get a second charge out.
Gold across the map.
Hopefully not.
As the teleports come through for Disguise to make sure they don't lose more than that mid lane turret.
Okay.
It is still a very tough position.
All right. Okay.
Trying to defend this structure because Maryville.
We might be able to. Oh man, we're down 5k gold, but we're up 3 drags.
Willing to do time and time again, overload a side of the map to guarantee a structure, guarantee a pick on a side lane. Young will not give them both. We'll just give up the turret and catch the wave here. Nasty will try and answer it here on the bottom side. Actually, doesn't stop the back. But I don't think he'll have enough time to actually take that turret. Maybe they can get mid, but it seems like currently tempo, especially with these resets coming from MU, belongs to the collegiate squad.
Exactly. I mean, it is Disguise's turn. Oh,
Perry!
And now Perry not playing with that tempo of the team, not respecting the fact MU are back onto the map. You did not get that invade in time, and Tenacity can only watch as Perry falls.
We know that in their last series, Perry did just have a game that was kind of like this, right? He just got caught over and over again. He tried to make a couple of plays, and it led to a collapse of Disguised for that game. And this is a position where you cannot afford to lose more. You do not want to give Maryville any momentum in the rest of it. And
what are we doing?
Yeah,
what are we doing, guys?
The enemy support yet again, and another dredge line from Zyko. They're just bullying him.
What are we doing? Just leave. Just leave.
He just keeps getting unlucky. Scary Jerry.
Why are we coming back in?
He goes down as well. That's a double kill to MU.
Why? What are we doing? What are we doing? We just spent them 3 kills.
And dies. That has happened. 4 members of Disguise have just done that. Perry hops over a wall. Then Poom gets caught. Tenacity runs in. Manui runs in. Young is the only one who didn't make a mistake in that last sequence. But
is there a sports betting website that has a game available?
Upcoming Dragon Soul, and if they can do that, then
and someone bet, oh, this player will have at least 4 deaths this series.
Another one of their structures.
I love this look from MU.
Because why else are we walking in?
Game 2, this style of just kind of group up, invade together, find people out of position, and kill them one by one. Watch as the dominoes fall. DSG are playing into that this time around. As you see, Boom even picked up the Edge of Night. He's like, no,
are we in DraftKings? What's going on?
Fog of War and just dying instantly. Didn't die that last time, importantly, but did have to burn the flash. But Maryville, it's such a better look when they do this style, and they're able to find these picks. So I'm happy that they are keeping with what had worked with them earlier on in the split. We had partly favored them in the best of 5 because of Fearless Draft. We felt that the champ pools were a little deeper. And this still, Game 3 feels like a stock standard MU draft, and we still haven't even seen all of their iconic picks. So as the series goes on, if they can win this game, this could be really good news for MU in this best of 5.
Would it be illegal?
still got to see
if I bet against my own team.
One of the scary things when you start losing is you kind of forget how to win.
Like, let's say I put a 100K bet
Maryville, they close this one
on
up quickly,
DSG losing.
it has slowed down a little
And then I tell my players to throw the game. And then I split the winnings with my players.
Not make mistakes. And as they start moving together, you have to remember how quickly they can take members down. They have such a heavy dive.
That's what's happening in baseball, right? With that famous Japanese baseball player.
If you can take down the Zeri, suddenly the damage starts disappearing from Maryville very quickly.
And Zeri also kind of needs to play within range. You got to get that lightning crash off, so you got to jump in initially to get that ult rolling and stacked up. Scary Jerry, we know, is a player that likes to play on the line, as we call it. So eyes will be on the young AD carry. Scary Jerry really turned heads.
It happened in the Vietnam League recently for League of Legends too.
From last summer into this spring, getting nod after nod after nod. We have all these new awards that we're giving out as well. Things like Rookie of the Split, Most Improved MVP.
7K go down at 20 minutes.
Now, Scary Jerry was in the conversation for a couple of those. So can he keep it going?
Dragon
right
spawns
now?
in 15.
4-1 seems to be the pivotal player for Maryville in this game 3.
See what he can do.
Oh my god, Poom, you're crazy.
Trying to set things up. They do have a dragon spawning right now.
Yeah, they're putting presence near Baron because they know we might sneak Baron if they try and take drag. But we're so behind, we just have to give it up.
That he loves to make plays happen is Poom. Rod.
Okay, death charge used. That's the thing about Edge of Night. It only stops the first bit of CC. Flash from Zyko will get the root, but the teleports come in from DSG. They will not let their support's death be in vain. They'll try to at least get Spyrax, and they will, but here comes Scary Jerry, the main character from Maryville University, and he's able to clean things up.
Where's our ADC?
Manui just has not been in a single fight that DSG has taken, and Perry will go down. Who gets the kill credit? Give it to the AD carry. Scary Jerry doesn't get it. It's
what's happening? Can we have a 5v5? Bro, we can come back. We can come back. Stop trolling.
Alive for Disguise, and it looks like he's going to be focused on picking up this mid lane structure. He's going to go even further because he knows he can't do anything. But no, they're pinging. Poom and Manu are saying, we need to stop this now.
Oh, I mean, there's no health bar on Scary Jerry. He's pretty low. If
Manui, what? You're an ADC. You got what?
He's still coming through. Spyrax gets in there. Apotheosis is not enough from Manui. Baron is still the focus, and Yuji has Smite. Will claim the Rally Cry Baron buff.
Someone open Manui's web browser.
They got the Ocean Dragon.
Check his history. Search DraftKings. Prize Picker, whatever fucking sports betting website has our game up this week. See if there's an account logged in.
Throughout this game and the rest of the series and the rest of everything, suddenly becomes a situation where...
Let me check his bets.
Maryville are taking situations where they should be behind early on, and they're winning it anyway. And once that happens and Disguise runs out of opportunities, they just get outscaled from this position, and that does mean that Disguise have to look for more and more desperate plays. It's part of why they look a little bit out of sorts, is because they've tried to make things happen. But watch how Young moves here. He just dashes directly into the stun.
Yep. Well played, I think, from the side of DSG to find the turnaround, but then they don't have the gold in their wallets to kill Spyrax fast enough. If that Jace dies instantly, if they have enough gold on their Olaf, on their Xin Zhao, could have been a different play, but the fact that Maryville are this far ahead meant that they are now able to get that Baron. They take out the middle inhibitor, and 24 minutes into this game, they've also denied the Dragon Soul stack from DSG. They are in the driver's seat, and it looks like they will bring us to at least a game 4. Backs were against the wall. You got to be tenacious in moments like this, and we know that Maryville, they got the heart in them.
Look, 8K gold is nothing.
And it does make me start thinking about how those game 4s will look, right? Because a lot of
how much is 8K
gold?
A
lot of champions that they could potentially bring through in Maryville. One of the big things that we are going to start looking at is the fact that Scary Jerry is running out of champions to play, and Spyrax jumps in.
Arrow lands, but it does
Chill.
Too big of a character model. Shock blaster coming through as well. This seems like DSG.
Young, careful.
Last hope. Charm lands onto Niles, but Young just doesn't do enough damage. Not even half of Niles' health bar with the full combo right there. We'll look for one more Foxfire Spirit rush forward. As MU just need to wait for this next wave to
just
come
keep
up.
farm. Just AFK farm. Just AFK farm. It doesn't have to be fancy. As soon as the tower goes down when you're back up, though.
They gotta put everything into this moment right here, but Maryville don't want to give it to them. They've already taken down Boom. Maryville just bulldoze over DSG. The gold lead is too much, and they are too tenacious in this game 3. An ace for Maryville, and they only lose Zyko. They're bringing us to game 4, and they are not ready for their season to be over.
Clean game coming through from Maryville. Every single member of their team winning lanes they should not have been expected to, and that does mean Maryville will take us to game 4. It's not ready for the sweep coming through from Disguise. They still have to find another one, but I love the fact that these teams are going back and forth. Fun fact, they're now tied in game score against each other, 4-4 over all of their 5-5 actually over all the series they played in this spring 2024, and this could be the opportunity for one of them to finally put a close to that.
Maryville did 2-0 them in their regular season best of 3. Then in playoffs, DSG take that 2-1. That's awesome to see that it could come down to the wire. With that said, we're going to send it to a short break while we get ready for game 4. You won't want to miss it.
Introducing the new foot-long sidekicks at Subway. Try the warm and delicious foot-long cookie, foot-long pretzel, or foot-long churro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did they say
well,
foot-long cookie?
News. It was announced that NACL Finals will be live here in the Riot Games Arena, which is obviously a pretty big deal because this could be the first time some of these players are actually taken to the stage.
I am so pumped for this. To get to see players experience their first ever game on stage is incredible. You know, kind of learning what it's like.
What's NACL?
So, speaking of Magic, Cubby, I hear you worked some to get NACL Finals live somehow.
Yeah, team effort. But you know what? We're going back to the studio on April 1st for our live finals. You can get tickets now, and there's even going to be an award show to go along with it.
So you know what's interesting, Emily? Not only are they bringing back the most valuable prospect, but they're introducing a new slew of
Okay, look, I mean, them losing is actually a good thing. That means more content for us to enjoy. So, we wanted to lose. I'm going to queue up a hyper roll game. I stayed up till 5 a.m. playing TFT. And the worst part is I didn't even climb. Because I was so tired, I was making such bad decisions. Stupid! Stupid toast. You know you can't queue when you're tilted. Why do you queue when you're tilted, man? Okay, we're 2-1. Okay, I also have a hot take. This should have been a best of 3 series. This isn't even lower bracket finals. Why are we doing a best of 5? You know? They should retroactively make this a best of 3 and say DSG won the series already. Because we won 2. Like, who's watching a best of 5 and a non-lower bracket final? Who cooked up this format? This format was created just to screw DSG over. As usual. They don't want us to win. Why is it a best of 5? Goat opener, prismatic. 3 minutes until picks and bans. Oh gee, I hope our team has like a deep champ pool. Because going to game 4, that's 15 characters you can pick on each side. Jula Muse too, thank you for the 14 months.
New game, new friends, same old me.
Oh, that's such a close fight. NACL players have a rule that champions can be rechosen. It had the rule for the entire season. Which I like the rule. If anything, when they go to LCS, if they make the LCS, they all become like much better players. Since their champ pool would be significantly deeper, having gone through NACL.
Blink and you'll miss us. We're back for game 4 here between Maryville University and Disguised. DSG find themselves up 2-1 in the series, but Maryville strike back in that game 3 and prevent the sweep, keeping their playoff dreams alive. And Josh, we had talked about it before, but I want to reiterate the fact we had both favored Maryville more in a fearless draft best of 5 because of how deep the champ pools are. DSG, although we've seen them scale throughout the split, maybe a little concerning with the different types of looks we've seen from them because we've already seen some of their best champs come and go.
Yeah, we've seen some good DSG and we've seen some bad DSG.
How deep are your pockets? How many different champions do you have coming through? We've already seen some of the difficulties with different teams as they get later and later into these playoffs, especially these best of 5s. You have to start asking, like, what is my 10th best champion, right? This was never a question that had ever come up in any playoffs ever.
Yeah, I mean, you can only ban traditionally 5, and if maybe you ban out 5, I have seen games where like 10, 80 carries are banned out, but now we could get even more. Let's take a look at the champions that are already off the table for both of these teams from those first 3 games. Smolder, importantly, is still available for MU. I think that's a huge advantage to them. DSG still have some other options for Manui in that bot lane, but the Nila did not feel like it.
The Varus is still one of the major champions that I still expect to see at some point during this best of 5, right? Disguise should never let Scary Jerry play the Callista, but the Varus is something where we know Manui can play it, and with Disguise being on the blue side in our upcoming game, that could be one of the difference makers. But we still haven't
Why
had,
don't we simply ban Smolder from
our
them?
other things, our cookies, our churros, and our pretzels have still not come to fruition.
Where's the Pantheon, Niles? Let's take a look as we're ready for pick and ban here for game 4. I still feel like that's something that they could lean onto, but I love this. This is my first time seeing this many shadow banned champions for the teams. Best of 5 really does add an extra layer on top of the layer that best of 3 Fearless Draft had presented for our teams.
Yeah, and I'm actually really curious right now what Perry kind of digs into from this position, right? The Xin Zhao is off the table, the Vi is off the table, the Wukong is off the table. His next most played after that is Poppy. He has only played one game of Volibear so far this summer, so it is something that could come through. This is still 14.5, so yeah, Volibear is still strong on this patch, but it is a very telegraphed style of engage.
But Perry was known for this. If we go even back to like 2022, 2023, it's one of the champions I associate with Perry. So I wouldn't be surprised if he leans on that. But you're right, Poppy is one of those other ones. So far, that has not been the focus of MU. They're taking away the Karma. They're taking away the Gragas. Gragas has been very important for Tenacity in a lot of the wins that DSG has picked up. So I think that's a pretty smart ban.
Yeah. I also have to note that because Disguised have already had their Oriana game, they're going to have to be grounding it for the rest of the series. Yeah. But now Maryville is asking, do we ban the Forest? Do we allow Manui to play this champion? It's incredibly
we
versatile,
don't ban
and they say,
Smolder?
Nope, not going to be letting that one through. So it's already looking like a position where Disguised have some tools. The Talia has been one of the stronger mid lanes, and with a lot of the major counters already effectively banned, it's harder and harder to bring it up. And so the answer from Maryville, the Aatrox, one of Niall's better champions, as well as the Lucian, which was something that Scary Jerry and Psycho played a lot of earlier on in the season.
Yeah, they were heavy proponents for the Lucian plus the Melio or even the Nami. We've seen both combos with the Lucian picked up here, but now it's Manui's time to pull up the Zeri, and Poom is on Lulu duty.
Yeah, and we have seen, especially in the Lucian Nami versus Zeri Lulu, we've seen this matchup so many times over the course of 2023, and it was pretty firmly shown that Zeri Lulu can in fact win during Lucian Nami's power spike. So I'm a little bit surprised that Maryville still opting into that. It says that they are very confident in their bot lane's ability to perform, whereas Disguised, they have a fantastic way to play these longer fights. The one question will be, can they ever kill Aatrox through the Sundered Sky plus his ultimate?
Yeah, Aatrox can be a problem if you don't have Grievous Wounds, or even if you do. Sometimes it doesn't even matter if he's far enough into the game. Important to note, Talia, we don't know exactly where she's going yet.
Lulu.
Could be mid still, depending on what Perry and Young want to do, but we do know MU have the same idea that we did. Ban away Perry's jungle picks. Volibear and Poppy are taken off the table.
It says to me that they are most likely to go for either the Sejuani or the Trundle next. There's some things that Perry still has left to play, but they're also taking away... I love the difference between the champion pools between these two junglers, right? The Volibear and the Poppy banned away from Perry, and then the Vi and the Lee Sin banned away from Disguise. But we also have the Hui coming through for Spyrax.
Yeah, we're going to wait for Yuji's pick till the very end. Kindred's still available, important to note. So maybe Yuji would lean into something like that, but I think you're right on the dot here with what Perry has left in the champ pool. A lot of junglers banned, so the Sejuani hovered, or do we get a carry from Perry? There it is! Viego locked in.
Now we know Perry played a lot of
carry for Perry?
First time playing it in 2024, surprisingly enough. So we have a lot of relatively squishy members coming through for Disguised, and oh my gosh, please that one too. These are both such good characters into the Aatrox. Something that would be even more... No way!
Rek'Sai!
Why are they reacting like
I
that?
know that there were Rek'Sai changes on this patch.
Yeah. Why are they reacting like that?
myself saying I never read them. Hopefully you have, because we're going to need one of us to explain what's going on with this. And is it going top lane?
I think it might be, right? This is one of the things that we have constantly...
Why are they reacting like it's a controversial pick?
Solo queue for years. Rek'Sai up in the top lane is very, very playable, especially if you are able to stat check your opponents. But one of the big things about this, as a kid, Kindred is being played by Yuji, is that this Rek'Sai has so many tools to just go in and burst down a single target. You can stat check almost everybody in the game because of how good your base abilities are. But... the last patch really hurt her ability to do all that damage, and she's so much more sustained now than she used to, and it creates a situation where Tenacity can actually outlast Niles in the top lane.
That is a feat to do for any champion against Aatrox of all things. So we'll keep our eyes on Tenacity in this 1v1. Has he been practicing it? And what have they been feeding him? Because Tenacity really has shown up bigger in this series than we've seen throughout a lot of the split. There were a couple instances where Tenacity had crazy carry performances, but in this best of 5 and in playoffs in general, he's also really stepped up to the plate. Tenacity in playoffs seems like a different beast and a reawakened player for DSG. Now on a very unique pick as well. It's crazy when, you know, all these bans for junglers coming out, and we still had 2 junglers somehow locked in for DSG going into what could be their last game in this series. If they win this, they get a rematch against TLC for a chance to go to the grand finals back-to-back for Young. I'm sure Young wants that. I'm sure everybody
Come on, Young.
DSG wants that as we are loaded in to game number 4.
I'm doing some quick research here on the Rek'Sai top play, because I will admit, even though
I
know
do
it
like the new
exists,
DSG
I
logo,
haven't
though.
seen it.
Like
very
it
often.
looks clean.
Now, what I
know?
am seeing is that most of the time you see it build a more tanky style.
Hey,
right?
hey, what's going on?
With the Sunfire Rush, and then you have some options.
They're win-trading!
That you can build.
Kill him! Hit him! Hit him!
Opponents. You still have a very similar set of tools that you start with, right? You still put a point into the W first, and then you start maxing the Q. So we'll see what happens.
Dude, if I'm like one of the players, I'm calling my entire team to sit in the bush.
Still dancing up. And that was a dance battle right there. Rek'Sai's got some proper dance animations.
And there's
still
gonna
call out
do
Yone
anything.
on that one. That one was cool, but it wasn't a dance, man.
Why are we dropping double ward, you non-communicating mother truckers?
Here's the trap.
Got him. Ooh, Poom missed the initial glitter lance, it looks like, as the slow didn't go through, but they still got the auto attacks into Zyko and onto Spyrax. And it's way too late to go for a back. Flash away from Spyrax.
Wait, that was genius.
Really
we put 2 wards so that they think we're bad.
And it's still a lot of damage down onto Zyko as well, and also the summoner spell.
And we get the ward? Hang on.
So this is a really good
The double ward and the dancing kind of worked out for us, huh?
That glitter lance landed, slow onto Zyko, still has the flash available. The heal used offensively from Poom. That's flash out from Nami now. Maryville University are just hard losing the 2v2 matchup down here. Scary Jerry very low as well.
We got no health.
Barrier used by Manui, so summoner trade up, I suppose, for Maryville.
What is happening?
Jerry's being more important than Zyko's.
But still, that is a lot of pressure coming through from the disguised bottom side of the map. We were saying that
Poom walks
this is a
so
matchup
deep
that we
there.
have proven over the past year is a good matchup for the Zeri and the Lulu. They hit level 2 as well. They have control of the bottom side of the map, and as you look towards the rest of it, you're seeing that
crazy opening.
Never had a
This Lucian's on 0 CS.
No flash, and even though he's doing a good job so far surviving, you don't just want to be surviving as Spyrax, the second all-pro player that we have in this team.
Hey, stop missing CS, Manui.
They have a little bit higher bar of execution. Same with bot lane too. Scary Jerry Zyko continually getting punished down here, and what a turnaround for the story of Manui.
What a great opener.
They showed up into this series with a fervor. I feel like they got something to prove based on what we were saying about them in the regular season, because this version of Manui and Poom is so entertaining to watch. They are taking fights. They are playing with confidence.
Yeah, and we know that Manui in particular was talking a lot about trying to find his individual plays for himself. He talked about it in the last time we had an interview with him. Okay, look at this, how much tenacity will actually heal, right? That's over 100 HP at level 3. That is like 15% of his HP bar that he just got back after every single trade, so he can just go in and outlast people. But now, Poom,
oh wow, we're annoying them.
That's a flash.
Oh, okay, Perry.
Saving his flash to the very last second. Red buff slow coming through. Glitter lance from Poom is not going to be enough. That is flash from Yuji though. Scary Jerry 1v1ing Manui.
There's like 10 fights going on.
Zyko trying to get back under the turret, and Maryville just have nothing to play around. Seismic shove.
Oh my god, everyone is.
Young can get this kill. One more threaded volley. Oh, the minions making it.
Oh, nice try, Young. Nice try.
We'll get back to the turret.
And that's honestly really unlucky for Disguise that none of those tries found any advantage. Yes, they're going to force an early back, but they don't get any of these kills. But they force out a lot of members from the side of Maryville, and that gives them all
like
this
we're doing so much, but we're not converting just yet.
I'm sure he doesn't have his
I mean, still, I think
right,
upside
because the first one that spawned, Perry,
they're losing health and time backing.
Yeah, Perry putting UG behind, but I will say all props to Spyrax surviving there. Yep, 0 stacks on the Kindred. But not only surviving that 1v1 attempt from Young, but being down flash, being that low in health bar, and still, even in CS, got to give props where it's due. Seems to be the rock for Maryville right now, because everything else is struggling. Topside's nasty, has a big push. 2 waves in advantage over Niles here. as he's even going to pick up more, and bot lane is just falling apart for Scary Jerry and Zyko.
Yeah, that's really tough. This was a major part of the win for
we're even
Disguise
freezing
last
the
time they
wave.
actually played in playoffs. As Manui and Poom were not just living, but they were finding 2v2 kills going into Scary Jerry and Zyko, and now they're up already 2 waves of farm, and there's no extra minutes here for Scary Jerry and Zyko to even pick
my
up.
God,
It is
Manui.
a fantastic early start, and now
so
the Disguise
brave.
start going over to Disguise.
Wait, Tenacity just goes in? You can do that?
Niles, and Niles is just not ready for this one. Tenacity feels so much more comfortable in the matchup, dodging the sweet spots, getting his own damage through, and buying Perry that priority to go for the triple grub take. No dragon started up by MU on the other side, but they're jumping out of Poom. Doesn't have the backup of Manui, but isn't going to matter too much. He will just get back to the safety of his side of the jungle and go for a reset.
And still, remember how we were talking about how strong Maryville's lanes were? Look at what's happening currently. Because Spyrex got put behind, he's going to be technically
that
behind
early
in the
game
mid lane,
skirmish
right?
was
Because
so good for
Tenacity
us.
is bodying Niles up on the top side. They have a lead there in a matchup that it does not look like Niles is particularly comfortable in. And then in the bottom side, Manui and Poom, because they took the fight to Scary Jerry and Zyko right at the beginning of the game, are also up a wave and a half. This is an entirely different version of this matchup than we're used to seeing. And so now Maryville, the leads that they're used to getting, is going to have to come from some plays rather than just passively being better than their opponents.
And some questions around Maryville going into the split was around Niles in the top lane. We actually got a chance to chat with him in an interview after their last series.
Manui, what are you doing?
He said it himself. He's like, look, I tell the guys all the time, because he's also coaching the team, by the way. He's a player coach for them. He said, I'm the worst player on this team, guys. You know, I'm just going to try and hold it down up here and allow you all to pop off. Niles has had his moment. He has played in the LCS in the past, but we have expectation that a player like Tenacity should be able to do this. The question was, can he do this? And so far, that has been answered with a resounding yes. Tenacity has been getting the better of Niles in this top lane throughout the series.
Yeah. And I think it is worth noting at this point that most of the players on both these squads are still trying to play LCS again as UG.
Oh, we need to check that bush.
UG jumps in onto Perry as the backup of Niles and Spyrex here. Young
He's
trying to get away,
out.
flashes
Nice.
to safety. DSG
Just
now
live,
have
just
battle
live.
lines drawn. Tenacity on the front line.
Oh,
Flashes
Tenacity with a
forward,
3-man
triple
knockup.
Knockup on Burrow. Now damage onto UG. No ultimate for the Kindred, but Niles is straight back onto Tenacity. Should be able to have in one sweet spot. Doesn't hit the second one. But the third one is there. First blood to Niles.
No, we missed the stun as well.
Threader volley damage. He flashes away, gets out from the Heartbreaker. Now comes the Weaver's Wall. Young trying to get in there. They're down. The body blocking from UG. And he'll take down another. They save the top laner, and
We missed our stun! We missed our stun!
And they needed that so bad. They needed that more than anything else they could have gotten here. The fact that this top side wins out on that skirmish really undoes a lot of the leads that Disguised was already starting to build up. And I can't wait to go back over it.
What
because the way that they
happened?
try and find
We had
Niles throughout this
Flash,
fight and
Perry!
just barely aren't able to speaks to how much
We had
experience this guy
Flash! It's
really has. But
Flash! She's one
Turns it, Flash
health!
starts fight off at level 5 as they start fighting for the Scuttle Crab. And he ends up picking up the Scuttle Crab later on in the fight in order to level up to 6. But Niles taking a ton of damage throughout this entire thing does end up meaning that he
Like
suddenly becomes a
if
target.
Perry
gets
hits
smite off
the
suddenly,
kill, he can
Niles
like
is very, very
it's
low,
a like we
but he
win.
flashes
Like,
out
that
of the
stun
ultimate, the
missed.
Heartbreaker, heartbreaking here for
We have
Perry. And then
Flash!
it's try to force the
Oh,
issue. Young has to shoot his threaded volley directly into UG.
It's a it's like
Niles
this is a
at
3-man
less than
kill.
100 HP.
Who doesn't even have mana?
For DSG, from my perspective, as soon as Perry hits
That's
level
fine.
6,
The gold's
the
actually
flash from
even
Niles gets him
still.
away, and the threaded volley missing. That could have been a very different play if anything had gone
Oh,
differently
so
there
replay
for
doesn't
Maryville
have
University.
flash.
But now they
Oh,
find
you're
themselves 2
fine.
kills in the lead, still even
Okay.
gold, so job's
He
not
gets to keep
done.
his job.
But that's massive, especially for Niles to pick up that first blood, because the gold was getting really rough from CS.
That's fine.
but now
Like,
he's
it's actually
got
even.
ahead of Tenacity.
Like
True.
overall,
And that is
even.
huge considering how badly this lane was going
Oh,
for
man,
such a
that
long
sucks.
time. And now
It could have been
these
so
guys,
good.
They aren't necessarily worried about how this game state is going because UG, I can't imagine he's up more than 2 stacks at this point, but also
Keep the mental. Keep the
they
mental.
have really strong scaling tools across the side of Disguise. They still have the Zeri, they still have the Viego, and we're learning that
All right,
UG
Manui.
still has 0 stacks on this Kindred even after that last skirmish.
That is still rough.
We're gonna have to
for
put
the
it on
Kindred
Minui.
player.
We're gonna have to put it on Minui.
Chad about the kind of average stacking of Kindred. You're not necessarily expected to get to 4 stacks that quickly, but you know, around I don't want to misquote him, but I want to say it was around 15-minute mark is when you should on average expect to get that one, depending on how bloody the game has been and how your lanes are able to play for you. But UG's definitely been behind that curve as he has not yet picked up the first.
Yeah, and we also have a grub again coming through as Perry absolutely having.
Thank you for the
more
sub.
control of the jungle
Can't
so far
see
this
Shade
game.
Slayer,
Now,
DM Crawler,
looking for
Apoth
Spyrex.
Palace, and Nishik.
Good damage onto Young from Spyrex in the 1v1, and Perry's not there fast enough.
Oh my
did
god.
A lot of damage on the tail end right there. Barely a live lightning crash though from Minui. They're taking the 2v2 in the bot lane. Colleen used by
Minui's just
Scary
tanking the
Minui
entire
back.
Lucian out.
I think all shots from that one must have landed between Poom, Minui, and the wave, so well done for Maryville to hold the line bot lane.
Also, shout out to Spyrex for taking control of this mid lane as now Yuji comes down towards the bottom side. Spotted out.
On the control ward. Poom and Minui know this is happening. They still have wild growth from Poom. Still have barrier for Minui. This would be a very tough dive, and Maryville call it off.
Makes sense. Still, this game very, very even so far because of a fantastic skirmish from the top side of Maryville. This is how they used to win the few games that they won in 2023, but has not been their typical recipe for success here in 2024. And now, the Skies are kind of reeling despite how effectively they were able to shut down Yuji's stack growth so far. He is now starting to take away his opponent's jungle, but still yet to find the first stack.
How good is that?
65
The enemy Kindred has 0
that.
stats.
So behind in stacking, behind in clear, has a kill, and that's keeping them competitive, but DSG still feel like they're in a very positive spot. If they lose Young, though, that's rough. Has flash available. Firex is there. That's flash out from Young, and the seismic shove might just keep him
Oh
alive.
my god, nice shove.
Chase.
Holy, that was
Should be
scary.
a dragon though, right? Because Maryville have so much control of this side of the map, and Young having already used the teleport. Honestly, I have to say that was a really greedy flash coming out from Young. Waiting as long as he did, he needed to flash as soon as he saw Yuji come out of that brush, and he might have been able to stay on the map, stay in the mid lane, and at least get some of the experience he's going to be losing.
As Weaver's Wall, though, and the team's actually been able to hold the line, because Perry, with the priority from bot lane, walked up into the bottom river.
Yeah, our bot lane is our win condition
so there's
this
a
game.
chance here that Young can actually get in range faster than Spyrex, who's currently on the mid wave, pulling used by Scary Jerry. That's fine. Poom doesn't need to have a health bar. He just needs to buff up Minui. Crash goes down. A lot of damage. Heartbreaker dodge by Zyko.
Yes! We got one!
Picks up the kill. The Weaver's Wall gets him in range, and
That's the one we needed.
were ready for the fight. Maryville were not.
I thought for sure that ultimate was in time, but no, Zyko still dies right at the end of that, and that means that there is no opportunity for Maryville to fight back. The dragon that we thought was surely going to go to Maryville is now picked up by Disguise and Spyrex. Being a little cheeky.
Has Spiral in despair, won't throw it out onto Perry right now. They're going to hold the cooldown. Yeah, being very cheeky right now. He's in a 1v2, no backup, but just feels confident enough, thinking
wow,
that they won't.
The ego on display
I mean,
between two of us and still stays.
That's definitely one of those spots. I love the you won't. You don't believe in this, as now Minui.
If I play with blind confidence, they're going to believe Yuji's behind me.
True. I always love that kind of bluffs you can get, but we get another look at this as Disguise. This is mostly a play that starts off from Perry saying, these guys are a little bit too far forward, and as long as I can play around this edge of the vision, I have access to the flash plus the stun. They find their way onto Zyko, and here we get to see how close this Lam's Respite is. And just moments too late.
I didn't even notice
to come out and
Kindred
try
out
and save
there.
Zyko's life, and that is enough to find themselves the dragon.
Very, very close series of events right there. But as we're back to live, that's 2 dragons to DSG. They continue the stacking towards Mountain Soul. Very hard for a Lucian in particular to play into that one. You're not going to be packing as much pure DPS. You kind of want to get that big pulling burst, and that extra resistance and shield will help keep DSG alive. As they're also onto this Rift Herald. So all objective control so far to DSG. They got all 6 grubs as well. Harry has been putting on a masterclass of jungling in this matchup.
Yeah, he's had so much control.
Yeah,
and
40
I've been
CS
coming back
lead
to
against
this.
the
It's been one of my
Kindred.
favorite quotes that I've heard. One of the best ways to, determine how strong a jungler is, especially when you play against them, is it feels like they are a wall. Everything that you try and do just is not enough. They're always there to stop your plays. They're always faster than you to anywhere you want to be on the map. Perry's done a fantastic job of that so far this game. He has consistently gotten all of the neutral camps. He's been consistently able to stop any plays from Yuji, and of course, without that one topside skirmish that didn't go their way, Disguise would have had a dominating lead in this game, and now Zyko needs to be careful.
Oh, Zyko
Oh, yeah, kill her. Take over her body.
For Perry. Yuji gets back over the wall, though, so I think it's only going to be the one. Maryville lose their support, and not much else.
And yeah, everybody goes back to business as usual, but the Zyko Nami is starting to fall prey very consistently to the members of Disguise. It's nasty. I mean, we get to see, like, this, you know, kind of...
I can't tell who's winning between Rek'Sai and Aatrox.
After all of that, but there's a lot of pressure in the mid lane, too.
Looks like Aatrox is winning.
Breaker
Tenacity, don't do it. Don't do it.
1v1 right now. Niles hasn't even popped the World Ender. And winning that one, Culling comes through. A lot of damage out of Manui. He will live, but Scary Jerry has flash. How bad does he want it?
Not bad enough. Manui will be walking away, and Perry right around the corners, looking for something potentially, but it is still a position where Disguise, they should feel like they are in control of this game. As long as they're not losing, they are winning, and that does mean that Disguise, with this play,
yeah, as long as we don't
through,
end,
it is going
okay?
to be
We
on
always end.
Manui
Today is the day
on
we
game.
decide not to end.
Fantastic job in his other scaling game when he was playing on the Smolder. But I do have a feeling that Spyrax seems to be a little bit upset at how some of our previous games have gone, because he is absolutely taking control, saying, hey, you took all of my HP at the beginning, you got my flash at level 1, it doesn't matter, I'm back in the lead.
He just completely chunks out Young as soon as he gets into that lane, too. Young's gonna have to go for another reset here, probably just give up that bottom turret at that point if Spyrax wants to push it in. No, actually goes for the teleport. Okay, we'll keep it alive here as Yuji's hovering topside. Tenacity and Niles are duking it out to start, but Tenacity gets out of there with an Unburrow. And is fine.
Here comes Poom.
Oh, the threat of volley went the wrong way. Close. Very close. DSG tried to close the trap.
Young, what happened?
Don't quite get Spyrax.
Young, why are you shooting to the right?
I don't know if Spyrax even knew, but at this point they definitely know that he was at a bit more risk, and with 50 seconds left until the next dragon, this is a big opportunity, right? We were looking at how effectively Disguise could play around the dragons when they had the Smolder. This time they got to do it with the Zeri, who does have the first item completed. And look at that.
I guess this is well past plates being down, so that extra armor's gone, but I think Tenacity just 100-0'd that turret. I don't remember any substantial damage being on that earlier.
It was very close,
Woo!
yeah. I mean, the Grumageddon coming through as well, doing a lot of extra damage there. The Demolish helps at the same time in Disguise. They've been sitting right in this part of the map for a long time.
They're just waiting. The Death Rush has been set. DSG, send out the bait. It's Manui.
That bubble?
MU bite the hook?
Yeah,
Tenacity's here as well. They see Tenacity on the flank, so MU actually positioned on the Tenacity side of the fight, trying to chunk down the Rek'Sai, but he is quite tanky. They don't do that much damage to him as of now. They also lose control of the mid-wave push. The Herald will get the charge off. That's enough to clear the entire turret, so MU are going to have to fight into the river now for this dragon.
Look at where Young and Tenacity are positioned. They're making sure that it's tough for Maryville to walk on in.
Finish it. Nice. Kite backwards.
As you said, it is too late. Disguise, though, are pushed towards the bottom side of the map, and Maryville are going to try and answer with the mid lane turret.
Yeah, they will also have a Kindred stack in the top river, so Yuji can go for that one as well. I don't even know if he's got one yet.
First.
We'll see. They're on the turret right now, and they will claim that one. Okay, so Maryville gets something for it, but they kind of lost their position around the dragon, which made things really awkward for them. And now they have to worry about Dragon's Soul for DSG in 4.5 minutes.
And as this turret goes down for Young at the same time, it does feel as though Disguised, again, they have not really played any of these games with a lead early on. The first game was, you know, back and forth. The game remained very close, but this is the first time I feel like we can really say Disguised are coming out of the early mid game in control. They played the Smolder game. That was absolutely one where they just needed to buy time. Last game, game 3, they just got blasted. Game 1 was back and forth, constantly being contested.
And Yuji, a jungler we have been lauding throughout the entire split, put completely on the back foot, got his first Kindred stack at about 1845 in that top river. Has not been able to make the Kindred work so far. Not necessarily all because of his own play. I mean, the map state has been difficult for the Kindred to play around, but still we have a certain level of expectation for Maryville based on how they were able to perform in the regular season. A lot of individual members that we've been very impressed with. Having rough showings right now. Here we go, Perry having a pickoff moment onto Spyrax. Heartbreaker not
free flash,
enough,
I'll take it.
So Playo and Despair will just trade some damage back.
Still, it is a flash. But overall, I do have to say, right, we've already talked about it a little bit. We know that Cubby voted for Surdy as his most valuable prospect. I've said this as well. U2 is my vote. We haven't necessarily seen what the most valuable prospects have actually been, but we know that there are a lot of people on both of these squads who were at least in consideration. And it's worth noting that there was a lot more community votes, right? Even with like things like the All-Pro, the community, or the co-streamers, the players, and the teams all had opportunities to vote on this as well. And Niles was number 3. Spyrax was number 2.
Nod for All-Pro, I think, was deserved to an extent, but also there were still questions around it based on how Maryville had been picking up their wins, right?
Yeah. I was surprised, for sure. I think Niles was probably surprised as well. But either way, it is still an opportunity now for some of these players, right? We've already revealed that Niles and Spyrax are in the, the number 3 and the number 2 all-pro teams. Now we're going to be looking to see if they can continue making these plays deserve that spot, because they are on the cusp of potentially dropping. There's a Dragon Soul spawning in 2 minutes for Disguised, and it feels as though Disguise is just slowly taking control. Look at how much more vision Disguise has been able to put in the Eastern Quadrant as compared to what Maryville have been able to do.
And on the topic as well, continuing to set up for this Dragon, it's going to be a bit of time so we can catch our breath here. If you've noticed, nobody from DSG has actually had a member present in the All-Pros for 3rd or 2nd yet. So reminder, it's a regular season award that we give out. It's the first time doing that, but it just shows how much better DSG have looked in playoffs than in the regular season. They have
in the minute 20, Mountain Dragon is coming up. That's the one we need. This is Mountain Soul. We're a better team fighter.
That third game, but this one, maybe it's working out for them.
Maybe it's you.
But maybe it's me. I have casted a weird amount of DSG games, I will say.
And a weird amount of DSG losses as well. I have to imagine that Disguise does not have a great relationship with you at this point.
Yeah, Toast, sorry, man. I swear I'm not trying to do it. Hey, I did cast their last upset against MU. But you know what? Let's refocus up here.
So did I.
Whoa, free flash, free flash.
And that means that we have to start focusing on how the teams are setting up. The Weaver's Wall comes in from Young, not going to catch anybody.
Yeah, we're pressuring them. We're pressuring them so we can get Dragon priority. Okay, this is good as long as we don't end here.
A lot coming through onto Maryville,
and they're going to push back against us.
One of the spots. Now, Maryville have been very good at setting up unusual battle lines and fighting these flanks, but they have not had the time to move in, and now they have to force their way through into Talia.
This is scary for both teams.
Diego. That's
they're trying to walk into us.
And Niles has already been marked.
Yeah, cannot find the flank he's looking for. Maryville are just going to have to force their way in.
Rek'Sai with his flank TP?
Rek'Sai while Young keeps poking.
Yo!
Big damage. He flashes early.
Into the wall!
He saw the angle.
What happened, Scary Jerry?
Punished for resets for Perry. Means
Perry's going again with the ult! And he's getting stunned up, guys. Don't overcook, please. Thank God.
Says tag me in. Again,
chill. It's a 4v3. This is drag angle.
Retreating back. Manui was on top.
Don't let the tenacity, don't let the Aatrox solo us.
He does it. Shut down for Niles on Manui. The AD carry is down. Maryville can.
Please, guys. 3v2.
But tenacity.
It's a drag angle. It's a drag angle.
Maryville, if Niles lives there, that could have been exactly what Maryville needed, but DSG just barely hold the line.
It looks like one of the top candidates for the most improved ends up giving it to our 3rd all-pro top laner, who very, very nearly saves the game. But Scary Jerry thinks he sees an angle, and Perry
that was
says,
so scary.
Absolutely not.
Thank God. Like, Young was in so much trouble, but Perry with the flash in stun against the wall.
But these battle lines are so confused, they aren't able to.
And then here we were feeling ourselves, and then this Aatrox just went crazy.
The ultimate goes off, and that buys enough time. But oh my gosh, it looks like they might have.
Wait, we didn't get Dragon? We need Dragon!
Or rather, DSG were not able to get it after that one, and there we go. Scary Jerry, of all people, is the one to pick it up. Maryville have stopped the stacking of DSG. I wonder what was happening during the replay. It felt like DSG should have been able to just...
Yeah, I'm wondering that too. It's a 3v2. How did we not get dragged?
Members of Maryville, teleports coming through from Niles and Spyrax, able to buy enough time. But
Thank you, observers, for letting us know. It looks like Spyrax was the one that teleported didn't stop
we
it.
could have just chilled, man. We could have just chilled.
So far.
We got a pick. It was looking good.
They have the Lulu shields as well, and DPS coming in from Inui, but they're not.
Guys, they're coming. No. Good.
Niles trying to flank around to prevent an escape path, but DSG hold the line.
Oh,
and
Parry.
Now, Parry. That was a bold move right there.
Parry!
Comes through. What a Navi ultimate onto everybody!
Please! Please just stop doing this! Please, man!
And this is such
like,
a
I'm
huge
watching this, and even I know to not do any of this.
Niles once again stepping up in another fight, and Maryville, they're usually the ones rewarded with a rally cry Baron buff. 25
like, it's a free Dragon Soul, and we give it away. We start Baron on a 5v5, and we give it away. Like, what are we doing?
Such a good early game, but as we get a look at the replay, he's way too far forward from the rest of the team.
This has never been a problem for Parry before this playoffs. We've had to look at him. We have to criticize that this is the third or fourth time in games where Disguise have been ahead, where he's made plays just like that in order to find himself on the wrong side of a wall, on the wrong side of a fight. We saw it happen at the blue buff. He went too far to try and pick up Spyrax. And that has to be confidence shattering. Every single time something like that happens, you lose a little bit of your confidence in your ability to make decisions. And now Maryville, with their first lead so far here in Game 4, are looking to try and take us to a fifth one.
You just need to calm down. Like, we were, like, our throw against Team Liquid was so egregious. And it's the same thing over and over again. We just run in and die.
Maryville University, they got that fight, and then they
got it's absolutely unacceptable, man. Like, we're so good in certain ways, and we're so bad at decision making. We're good at fighting, but we're just bad at making any kind of decision.
Started the siege onto the second tier one in the bottom lane, but decided to back off. They want to go for the resets. Buy the gold in the pocket instead.
Yeah, you're already seeing the pings toward the top side of the map as well. It is worth noting that during that Tenacity was able to take the second tier top lane turret. And again, I say this all the time, you got 2 kills worth of gold off of that at the same time. Maryville, they're picking up a lot of standing gold that was still available to them on the map. But the play that still matters. Oh no.
Parry yet again. He has Heartbreaker. He has Flash. He has a Heartbreaker away.
Okay, that's
fine. They will be
fine.
back up before the Dragon fight, so it's not that big of a cooldown. All things considered, I think that's fine.
Yeah, I've gotten so many flashbacks. It just would not have been the first time, but Disguise knows that the real fight happens around the Mountain Dragon Soul.
I give this turret. Honestly, I don't care. I think DSG, they're fighting for the turret right now. They don't need to. Sharks are circling. They don't have Heartbreaker cooldown available anymore, but they do get the wave. They won't die yet, but this next shove should take it in. DSG still look like they're going to try and contest this.
They don't need to prevent the turret from falling. They just need to make it fall slowly, right? You're buying time for the Baron to fall off, and Disguise, to their credit, are able to defend it.
All right, 1 minute. Everyone's going to reset now.
For that. I think part of that is the fact that Spyrax is still finding advantage on the bottom side. Here comes the teleport.
We're going for Spyrax. Tenacity teleporting down.
Spyrax
had a position. He has the teleport available. But it's got to be a teleport from Niles to try and back up the mid laner. Good fear lands. Actually, it's just the ultimate onto Young. Tenacity is still chasing it down. Tenacity, can you do it in the 1v2? He doesn't have the damage, though. He's got a big
get out, when you get out.
Bodyguard, even with Poom here. Now they got Australia's get out of there. Maryville, it bought enough time for everybody to come down. I mean, reset.
And
the entire team said, we will save you.
When you reset, Young, when you reset, 25 seconds.
And everybody who got chunked out is going to be able to come right on back. Both Young and Spyrax going low. They will have teleports to be back on the map. Tenacity a little bit slow to get back out here, but now Parry has to make sure that they can get the mid lane pushing. They need to make sure that they are safe. Once again, a do or die moment from both of these rosters.
Tenacity went the wrong way. Tenacity doesn't have teleport, and he was passing topside, so he's going to be very late to this setup. Dragon just spawned. Maryville have control over the river. DSG are going to have to just brute force their way, and Weaver's Ball used. Tries to buy some time. Tenacity has arrived now. Perry trying to get into the pit.
Oh man, this is such a scary fight.
Lines have been drawn. Maryville holding the dragon for now. DSG, they need Tenacity to be their frontliner. They're waiting for the ultimate cooldown to come back up. You have to imagine, as the Zeri damage is so scary to think about. Scary. Jerry throws out the colon. Good damage onto Young. Gets flashed out of the Talia. Maryville. It's a pivotal moment. If they can get this dragon, deny the soul, they can keep the game going for a little longer, but DSG won it. Manui with the lightning crash will go in. Niles takes out Perry. The jungler just gets popped for DSG, and that allows Maryville to run loose in the fight. Taking down 2 members. DSG are going to want that one back.
Niles is buying so much space. This is one of the best games from him we've seen in so long. Winning the topside skirmish, saving the game around the last Dragon Soul, finding the opportunity to push everyone back and catching Perry for this one as well. Maryville are poised to take us to Game 5.
There's still 15 seconds on Perry, 20 seconds on Young. How much more can MU get done? UG's taking away the jungle camps, which makes me think it's just going to be the inhibitor and then backing off. But still, Maryville deny the soul 2 times in a row. They win back-to-back team fights. Can they get out now? Manui's jumping forward, doesn't have the ultimate available this time around, and almost just gets popped. This Zeri's having a really rough time putting damage in these fights. Let's get another look at that. How
this Kindred has 2 stacks. How are we losing? All we had to do was get Dragon Soul.
Slowly, finally they say the dragon is low enough. We need to push forward. We need to push people away. And then, watch how Niles just goes in. He just catches Perry the first time, and then he hits him a second time, and everything lands onto him all at once. And Niles has taken absolutely no damage, and Disguise is running for the hills.
Yeah, that was, I'd say, all Spyrax all day. They just lost track of the Hui, and the Hui was able to get the Maws onto Perry. All that damage from range. Without Perry there, that means Dragon over. MU
when you
now
set up a trap or
position
something
on the Rift,
4,400
gold lead, on the verge of starting the reverse sweep. They got the first game. This would be the second, tying the series up. Momentum halted for DSG and gained for MU. It could come down to this Baron
doing
fight.
this again,
These
huh?
guys, they just are not setting up for these objectives properly at all. Look at how much space Maryville can take.
Jerry's trying to get all that damage from the Colleen in. Niles on the front line here. We've seen
what are we doing, guys? What are we doing?
Perry
what are we doing?
Forward and misses the stun. He just gets popped again. Yuji on the revenge tour against the
what are we
jungler.
doing?
DSG trying to stay alive against Niles, but there's just no hope. Maryville University will make it work. Finally, the Lampress fight comes down, but it's not enough. There we go. Maryville University, they do get the sweep. They don't lose a single member for the fight, and they keep their playoff dreams alive. We're going to Game 5.
The tenacity and the resilience coming through from Maryville is incredible. This was one of the first times they did not have an advantage early on, and then the captain Niles, he says he's coming through. He's not necessarily going to be the star of the show, but he...
Wait, I don't get, I just don't understand. I don't understand. I actually just don't understand what I just watched. Like, this dragon fight is the most... Like, we get this pick and this is so good, right? And we chase and then we chase and then we just like try so hard here. And we almost got this. Like, Poom's eating, like, he has the play out, so it's pretty, like, rough in the back. And we lose Perry, and we traded. This is fine. This is fine. And we're like, we keep trying to fight. Like here, we could have just all backed up. We keep going back for more. Minui Tenacity gets hit. Aatrox it's just going in. We lose our ADC because we're just walking up. We're just constantly walking up into them. And like, no mana Nami, no mana, no health Hui. And we still can't take Dragon? Like, I don't fucking know, man. and then this Baron called right after it. It's just like, what the fuck, man. Like the dragon, not getting the dragon, yeah, that sucks. But the Baron call was just, I don't know, man. I don't even know what the Baron call was about. Stomp, thank you for the 81 months. Appreciate it. That's alright. They're just doing it for content. We had such a good opener too, and then we had such a bad team fight in the top river. Like it was so bad. Okay. We actually get a game 5. You know what? The team's just making it spicy. 20 champ bans. Holy. Champ bans.
means that there are 40 champs already banned for the entire game. Nobody is allowed to play so many things. Neither side can play Xin Zhao.
Oh
Neither
my
side
God.
can play Ari. Neither side can play Renekton, and the list goes on. It is a tough position for both of these teams, as you have to start digging deep to see what it is you can still play. We said at the beginning that Maryville should be favored in a best-of-5 Fearless, especially if we end up getting to this point, because of how many different characters they can play. We've seen so much resiliency.
20 bans on
the
each
one character
side.
I'm still expecting to see come out for at least one side this time, Varus. Right, we have seen so many. Yeah, true.
Yeah, that's the thing about this. The champions are so pinched. We're going to have to go so deep into these champ pools, and that is why Fearless Draft is so exciting. I mean, what do you even do if you're a coach at this point? And you're trying to sit your players down like, okay, we got to keep track of all the things we can't play, all the things they can't play, and then also on top of that, add the layer of what we don't want them to play that they still could play, and what we want to prioritize that we can still play that maybe they don't know we can play. Yeah.
There's a lot going on here. There is so much, and this is why one of the things about Fearless that I think is kind of cool is it just prioritizes being good at League of Legends, right? Like, you know, if you imagine we had a best of 7 and we had another 20 champions banned, where it's just like, well, I don't know, I guess we're playing pre-rework.
Can we change finals format? Is it too late? Woodley? Maybe Mark Z? I don't know who we got to talk about. That would be very
fun,
we'll
get Tryndamere on this one himself. Just say, hey, we need some help down here. But either way, with all of these champs banned, the things that are still available, Maryville can still play the Orianna. Maryville can still play the Smolder. Maryville still has access to the Vi. There's a lot of champions that are still available for Maryville in this Game 5, whereas I feel as though DSG have used up almost everything that their top half of the map wants to play.
I'm happy you highlight that, because I was going to ask you that next. Like, what are the big power picks available for either team? Maryville's got a list of them, man. That's actually insane that they still have all of those priority picks. If you had said any of those are a blue one, maybe not Vi, but like the other ones are options, right? If you want to prioritize them. And DSG, it feels like their pools have been getting pinched heavily. Not only from the Fearless bans that you see on your screen right now, but the strategy that MU have had in the second round of bans, that's where it really gets brutal, right? Yeah, you see the first 3 champs locked in, you know, okay, well, they still need a jungler. Maybe they can flex this champion here or there. Let's just isolate the one person we know hasn't picked something and then take away 2 more of their champions. And it's just been really tough for DSG. They leaned on the Rec side. Top lane. It was fun to see. It won the lane, but it did not win that game. So they're going to have to find something else in the tank for DSG's top laner and for really everybody.
It honestly makes me think that we're going to see something crazy coming out from Tenacity, right? He did hover the Fiora last game. It's a champion that has largely disappeared from the meta, but it's also the kind of thing that you know Tenacity is going to be very good at. It's also things like the Ornn. There's clearly champions that everybody can play, but it's not the top side of the map I'm not necessarily worried about. It's not Tenacity that I'm really worried about. I start asking, what does Young still play from this position? What can Young play that is one, safe to blind, that he's going to have to play into Spyrax?
Okay, so it's not the Nico, Orianna, Ari, or the Talia. We know that those are not on the table for Young anymore. And when we look at Spyrax, there are still things like the Akali that we know he leans onto.
I mean, that's a Young special too.
True. Could be that. Aurelia, we know that Young has played a lot of the melee champions. Even Silas was something he leaned onto into last year. Yeah, LeBlanc. There we go.
There are still
able to
champions.
Piece together a couple.
I'm not worried about his ability to play any of these champions. I'm worried about him having to blind pick any of these champions. That's the tough part, right? And as we start going towards the end of it, I mean, the Kalista, which has been a permanent ban coming through for Disguise, going into Maryville, still must remain banned. The Gragas also taken away from Tenacity, still banned. And the Draven ban comes through, and Maryville has to answer the question, do we want to let Manui play Varus?
I think you should just ban it. It's a smart thing to do. If you leave that up, that's a clear choice. Because you're not going to get the... Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I was going to say, Orianna's on the table for Maryville, but so is Varus. Yeah, it would be DSG you lock it into Varus because they can't take the Orianna either way. But it's Aatrox banned instead.
Interesting. I think this has to be a Varus pick coming through. You did not ban the Orianna, so you should expect that is going to be one of the first picks here for Maryville. Still an incredibly powerful character and a very safe blind pick at that. So it creates a lot of pressure on this guy's draft to try and find a way through, and instead it is the Sivern pick coming through.
Oh, okay. So they're opting for an earlier pick for Scary Jerry. We already have the Kalista and the Draven banned away. You can't play the Senna, Jinx, Zeri, or Lucian. Just lock something in right now before DSG have a chance to ban out 2 more champions. Orianna's still available. They still have the Vi, but they don't have to lock the Vi in early because DSG cannot pick it themselves. Yeah. But I do fully expect a Vi pick here for Maryville to round out the first 3.
And the LeBlanc hover coming through. I mean, Young has to make some very crucial decisions. And, I mean, we talked about the champions. I almost feel like the Akali might be stronger here, but it is going to be a LeBlanc comes through. This has been a classic pick for Young. We've also seen what can happen with this character back and forth. Romer had most of a great game recently on this character as well, and as Perry reaches deep in his pockets, the answer is Jarvan.
Not the Volley Bear, which is what I had expected to see here, but J4 maybe a little earlier that you can start to influence some of these lanes, and is a very powerful combo with the LeBlanc. They can both set each other up for their CCs and try and punish this Orianna potentially.
It also happens to match up well into the Sivir, right? You can still spell shield the E, but it's nearly impossible to spell shield the Q. You have a very small window. It is possible, it's just very tough.
And Cataclysm locks you in regardless.
Yep.
So, yeah.
But as a Poppy comes through here for UG, or potentially for Niles as well, you have a lot of dashes to stop on the side of Disguise. You're creating a very powerful backline for Maryville to play with. However, one of the things that they are losing is the ability to dictate what engagements happen, because Young, Perry should not be playing on the same side of a fight almost ever. And as we start digging back in, the Udyr ban taken away from Tenacity is something that we have basically seen disappear from the top lane meta.
Yeah, it was played in their last series. I believe it was, it might have been Niles that had pulled it out. I don't remember offhand. We can look at that in a second here. But I love that they're holding the Poppy right now because it could be jungle, it could be top like you said. And if Tenacity hovers Fiora, maybe they think Niles can just play the Poppy and just try and be a wall for Fiora to not be able to push through. Has a decent matchup in that from my understanding of how that top lane works. But we'll see, because the options just give Maryville so much more power in this game at number 5. Cyan as well taken away, so trying to deny tank options from Tenacity.
Interesting. I mean, if there's a tank that Tenacity's going to play, I always think of Ornn, right? The classic. Yeah. Something that took him a while to build up as a character, because he was always a carry player when he first came onto the scene, and then it was 100 Thieves was like, dude, you gotta play this character. It's the Pantheon ban. Sorry, no pretzel for you today, Genghis.
Man, hey, at least they give respect to it, though. I'll take a ban at this point. Oh, but it's Kennen. Blind picked.
Interesting. I'm trying to think of what Tenacity would play that interacts well. Rumble is okay. It does make me think, like, Irelia.
Tenacity does like that champion. Could go for something with more range, though, so there's Jace locked in. We're still expecting that's going to be LeBlanc in the mid lane, although I suppose maybe there's a crazy world where they reverse those around, but all expectation is Tenacity on this Jace top lane.
I also wonder if this Jarvan is flexible, right? Is it something that Proof can play? It does well in the bottom lane, and that could give a big option here for Perry to try and find something, but no, it is going to be the Renata coming through on the side of Disguised. They have some tools, they have a lot of poke, they have a lot of range to play with. They can dictate when engagements happen unless Niles can find good flanks, and I want to see a Nocturne here. I think Nocturne wins the game basically on the spot.
Yeah, Jace cannot play a side lane into a Nocturne. Even LeBlanc could struggle. So, but no, it's the Poppy in the jungle, not in the support role. So they go for the Ashe instead, as it is still available for them. DSG had played it earlier, Maryville had not. And we see, I mean, look at the difference in this draft compared to game 1, game 2, even game 3. Like, we are going deep into champ pools here to try and put together strategies.
Weirdest champions.
And I am
I'm surprised Maryville
doesn't
pick
has done to
Smolder.
the league, has done to the NACL, and has forced these players to adapt to very different play styles that we're going to have to see come out from both of these teams.
I have not seen Jarvan in a while.
There's so much focus on individual play, right? There are so many tools. There's not very strong front lines, a lot of range champions on both sides of the map, and that just means a
How's
small
Tenacity Jace? I've never seen it.
Instantly end the game one way or another. And I feel as though when it comes down to
I'll let you know.
I like Maryville's chances, right? They have been more consistent with the way that they have positioned during these team fights. They have a better understanding of how to control the sides of a fight than Disguised have so far. And as we go into our last game of the day, winner will move on to play Team Liquid tomorrow, whereas the loser will have their spring season end here.
DSG open for revenge against TLC and another chance at a finals appearance for Young and the organization. Maryville University looking to make the deepest run they have ever made and continue making that run, proving they are in fact the best ever collegiate squad. Game 5, it all comes down to this.
Oh,
we can see this might be the most back and forth we've seen these votes go. Disguised Maryville, back and forth.
Probably winning this game.
It goes to 50-50. It shifts again. We're back to 50-50, and Maryville finally seeming to pull ahead. That means that the Patreon subscribers aren't coming through, guys. We need the support here right now.
Yeah, they're barely ahead right now, but like you said,
okay.
It's very close.
Come on,
a lot of
brand new
Maryville
game.
New
game, you us.
And look, I see it this way. If you want the narrative of the return to finals, if you want DSG to make back-to-back, you're obviously cheering on them. But if you want the collegiate representative, the argument that collegiate is a viable path to pro to ring true, you're rooting for Maryville right now because we know players like Scary Jerry and Zyko are hoping for LCS and using Maryville University as their path to get there. Very conflicting motivations, and I think we're seeing that in Twitch chat right now.
And it is so close still. But as we go into the rest of this game, we have to remember how volatile all of these lanes are. If you start seeing a lead come through for the Ashe and the Sivir, you buy enough time to scale into the game. If you see Jace start building a lead here up against Niles, you also buy time for Jace to become...
Come on, Tenacity, you gotta beat Niles. Do it for Tyler 1.
We've seen what can happen when LeBlanc builds a lead. Every single one of these lanes matter, and that puts a lot of pressure on the junglers to decide where they want to hedge their bets.
I'm happy we're focusing on the mid lane so far. Feels like this has been such a pivotal matchup throughout this best-of-5 series. They're duking it out top lanes.
Oh my god, Tenacity, you got no help!
Like all these players. Sometimes in the game 5, you see slow gameplay. Nobody really taking risks. But right now, it's a flash forward!
What are you doing?
First blood to Maryville's top laner!
Our third all-pro top laner constantly saying it's not about him, making this game about him. And Young needs to be careful as well as Yuji's waiting in the wings, but such a powerful start and a statement coming through from Niles.
This guy said in an interview earlier this weekend, hey, I'm the worst player on my team. I'm just trying to set everybody up. Tenacity was bodying him in the first 3 games in the first half of last game. What a turnaround for Niles, getting that first blood in the 1v1.
Boom just healed himself and not Manui?
Scrapping as well, though. Scary Jerry's
low
on mana. And
What?
Lots of summoner spells straight back and forth. Tenacity trying to return.
Oh, hang on. Parry with the gank.
No flash available from earlier, and that's a
nice.
Parry.
Okay. Parry. Good game. Good game.
It's an important kill to get right on back coming through from Disguise, but it's still worth noting that Niles still has an experience advantage and an item advantage because when he died, he had money to spend. Tenacity did not, so this can still be a big win coming through for the Maryville top side of the map, and their bottom side is also creating so much pressure. And Yuji doesn't seem like he's done with play around this top side. He wants to make sure that Tenacity needs to respect the power that Niles has.
I think a correct read from Yuji. Let's get another look at this, because it's Tenacity kind of taken... Oh, no, this is the second play. So this is after the 1v1 here. Needed backup, but hey, it does get Tenacity a kill.
And it feels really bad, because as Tenacity goes for this play, he ends up losing several minions to the turret off of all of that. And now Niles has asserted control.
Okay, even gold, I'll take it.
Also, this bottom side, Manui and Bloom are losing control of the lane. Even though Yuji has to give up a couple of camps in order to make sure that his lanes are doing well, that's fine. It's Poppy. You already know what this champion is going to be doing. Disguised seem to have already lost the thread, and it's only a couple minutes into the game.
Tenacity's back is stopped, but Parry's
frozen.
did not. So Niles is able to keep Tenacity in this lane locked and loaded. And actually, no, is that a frozen top lane? Actually, could observer Kai, can we take a look at top lane? I think it's frozen.
It's super frozen. Tenacity needs to get this back off, and it's not a lot of combat stats coming through. This lead for Niles should grow, and Kennen, in this game, he doesn't necessarily present the most threat to Young or Parry, but he presents so much threat to Manui later on in the game. And Yuji, just now, because of how powerful his top lane is going to have the freedom to start up these grubs.
Niles really being a difference maker for Maryville University right now. I will say, though, I think a big wild card for DSG to play with is Poom on the Renata Glass. We haven't talked about it yet, but the hostile takeover, the handshake, two very powerful tools to prevent a Kennen from flanking, from finding that engage onto the team.
Oh, no.
And Niles doesn't really have great tools to stop that, but speaking of tools, he's got great tools to go in. Slicing Maelstrom early. Tenacity still level 5. We'll have to get the knockback onto Niles. Ooh, that final Q doesn't go through, so Niles doesn't actually get the kill. Tenacity's just fine.
But still, the way that Niles played that was fantastic, getting the stun first before positioning himself, whereas if Tenacity ever hit him with a Thundering Blow, he'd just go right in the wall. He wouldn't move. Tenacity would still take the full duration.
Young getting a good trade. Flash out of Spyrex. Parry's there. But Spyrex got to the safety of the turret, so good from Young to set that up and get the Summoner Spell out of his lane opponent. Spyrex still alive, though. Zyko might not be, though. Ooh, Zyko's in trouble. Has to pop the barrier. Flash is available. He's trying to get as much damage down as he can, but Manui will claim the kill. DSG winning out in the 3v2.
A huge swing back coming through from Disguise as well. This was how they were able to find some wins. As Scary Jerry pops the ghost.
Ghost popped again. He's got the flash. He's got lethal tempo stacked up. Spell shields, the hail of arrows, and that Q did so much damage. Oh, but the barrier early from Manui, plus the heal. They take the 1v1.
Take it, just take it, just take it.
He's still looking around.
He just stopped. Interesting move from Yuji right there. Not going to go on to Poom, but either way, what a close series of plays. Top lane, things are getting rough for Niles. He flashes away, doesn't have Slicing Maelstrom, and Tenacity goes down. They don't have the damage. And Parry just has to walk away. Niles with the outplay.
This game is so close, Genghis. Everybody everywhere is fighting. They know how much this matters to both teams, and they are not willing to back down. The fact that Scary Jerry in this next fight just goes right back on in after tagging all of
that was on the Jarvan. What do you want the Jarvan to do when the Kennen flashes his knockup?
The bars later on,
sorry, what do you think the Jarvan was supposed to do there?
That Q doesn't land twice. Scary Jerry backs away, but the heal bait comes through.
Parry didn't take aggro. He flashed the knockup. Let him hit the cannon.
I think Manui actually could have lived if he had barriered a second later. He went very early on it, but let's look at how does Niles survive this?
Like, maybe we can walk up and auto.
Nasty just doesn't have.
But you gotta let the
does too much, and for whatever reason, Parry was not tanking. It was Tenacity from the beginning, and that's a dragon going over to Maryville. They also got the 3 grubs earlier, so even though the gold is dead even, they are still controlling the neutral objectives.
What a game 5, everybody. Strap in, because I doubt
like maybe the walk up into the auto was fine, but walking up
really
is also risky because you get
chance
stunned.
To make a run for the live finals. A reminder that will be April 1st.
Or just not commit to it, right? You you can.
Already booked their tickets. It's gonna be TLC waiting in the lower finals. Watching this series, seeing what is our competitors' form going to look like, and right now, both of these teams came here to scrap.
And we have to remember the legacy of these two teams is so different. You start looking at how they did
the gold is
right?
pretty even. It's just our top lane is not doing well, but our bot lane's doing well.
They lost both their round 1 and round 2 matchups and got eliminated very quickly from the double elimination. Then you look at where these players have come from, right? Tenacity.
I want to say it's any one player's fault. Like, if any, it's both players' fault. Like, there's no communication.
Spyrex,
right.
You know, he had a couple appearances as well, but overall, these two rosters, one is from an influencer and one
from a college. Right now, Collegiate is taking more. They have flashed out of Tenacity.
You know, he lived, and that's all I can ask for.
A gank, and Niles going to force his lane opponent out.
And look at this freeze yet again coming through. Niles has had so much control. The dive from Parry just trying to break things up, and Parry, he has Poom.
Yeah, Yuji is here, though, with Steadfast Presence not yet used. Boom not going to be enough to get a kill onto Yuji. He'll just go back up to the top camp, says, I am not bothered. Perry using the E to check it out, but not going to contest. But the grubs are up, so Perry hoping to deny the 5 or 6 stack from Maryville.
I gotta say, that spawn was kind of gross. That's actually my first time I've ever watched the grub spawn.
Oh, I wasn't really paying attention. Did they do something weird?
They're like eggs.
Oh.
Yeah, I'd never seen that before. But either way, Maryville, will they try and contest this? They only need to get one of them. No, they don't. It doesn't matter. It's way too late at this point. Disguise will get 3 as the arrow comes through. Doesn't land onto anything, but still, it is a back-and-forth game. The goal less than 100 between them. 2.5 minutes until the next dragon actually spawns. And it does... Why are we showing this again?
Why do we have to do this? Okay,
See, it's just
so there's
kinda,
multiple eggs. There's a lot of them. Oh, yeah, now I see it.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, in general, you know, you got the hands instead of the feet, and you got the eggs coming through. It's just like all around, like, you know, I respect it. It's like looking at Death Guard stuff. It's meant to look gross, and they did a good job with it, but still, ugh.
Okay,
Either way,
to the 5 people in the audience.
Minui,
Yeah,
if there's a time to show up,
yeah, you were
it's
one of
this
them.
game. It's this game, Minui. You're up 2 kills.
You're my
They
audience
gave me a
as
mic,
well.
which I know I'm still shocked about, too.
Yeah, but either way, with all of this going through, I still want to shout out Young, right? Because every single time it feels as though we are kind of underestimating him. We've talked about it several times. When he played up against Royoma, Royoma is coming off of a fantastic end of the split, and Young dismantled him in finals. Now, Spyrex, again, who was the second All-Pro and arguably should have been playing LCS this split, still in a position where Young is able to hang with him during all this laning phase as Spyrex takes every opportunity to be aggressive.
Hasn't gotten a sizable lead over Young in this pivotal Game 5, though. So props to Young on the LeBlanc champion that we were talking about. He is known for, has been able to hold it down in laning phase 4 right now. Perry gets hit by the Ash arrow and is just surrounded by Maryville University. And yeah, that's a rough time to go down. I mean, there's no big objectives, but still, you're just giving gold over to your opponent.
I have to say, my heart goes out to Perry throughout the course of these playoffs. As a player who we had such high hopes for it, this playoffs has not been his best showing. That kind of play has happened way too often.
Flash forward with the slicing Maelstrom. No flash available for Tenacity, but he's fine.
Yeah, still all right. Tenacity, though, slowly losing out on gold on EXP, and Niles should be able to pick up a plate here. With the dragon spawning in 40 seconds, every bit of gold will matter. Every ultimate available will make a big difference. And Minui already has his first item completed, so does Scary Jerry, but one of these is way more impactful.
And Zyko, he had the Enchanted Chris arrow to pick off Perry there.
Yeah, I'm putting all my eggs into the Minui basket.
By the time we're actually fighting at this dragon. So Maryville University still have tools available to them. DSG are currently rotating there early. 15 seconds for this to spawn. Young trying to play Assassin LeBlanc here. Big damage onto Spyrex. Perry doesn't fully
Nice.
commit,
Okay,
though.
Spyrex is forced out.
I think they probably could have killed Spyrex, but Flash was available, so maybe not.
Yeah, honestly, I really like that from Perry, right? Not making the same kind of mistake, but Spyrex had just teleported back, and this gives Disguised the opportunity to decide how they play around this. And Yuji, nowhere close. Normally, this is where you start looking at plays on the top side, but Tenacity has already gone for a reset. Not possible to dive him just quite yet. You only get a Gromp in exchange.
And Niles is
I'll
also
take
going
the
for a
drag.
reset here. So Gromp picked up by Yuji, but they're not going to stick around for a prolonged wait. And a hover to punish Tenacity as he gets back into lane. So well played by DSG. Young setting it all up. He was the reason they got the big chunk on the Spyrex, and he's going back in on the Spyrex right now. Chain lands.
No!
Now goes Perry over the top. Gets flash out of Spyrex. But here comes Yuji. Headbutted into the wall. Knocked him up with the ultimate. And Shady Crystal Arrow hit Young. He's got no backup. Steadfast presence from Yuji trying to keep Spyrex
Traded.
alive.
Yes! Perry's alive! Holy! That was crazy!
How do
The Ash ult hit Young, stunned him for 5 seconds.
Was doing seemed so perfect in that last fight, and none of it mattered. Watch also that
Look at
during
this.
play, Enchanted Crystal
I
Arrow
cannot
stunned
believe this
him for
happened.
the full
This Poppy
2.5
almost,
seconds.
like-
As soon as Perry goes in, I think, oh, he's probably dead again because of the
Yeah.
amount of pressure. And
Boom.
Young
5
can't
seconds. Perry's
participate
getting
because
wailed
he's
on, by the way.
Even with the steadfast presence,
1
of
health.
Young to stop Spyrex
Gets
from
the
going down
shield,
right
knocks
away.
up.
Perry
Oh
still
my
shields himself.
God, that was
comes
actually
through,
crazy.
And the Disguise come out on top of it.
Oh
And
my
that
God.
flag and drag was, that had to have been pixel perfect at the end of Steadfast Presence. He could have gotten knocked up and gone down. Yuji was one auto attack away from killing him, but DSG walk away alive, walk away with some more gold in their pocket.
Like, our team fights are good. It's always our decision making that I'm just in absolute like, the mistakes are so obvious, but the strengths are so good.
But Yuji says it is time to fight. We still have 4
Like, we have really good players, like mechanics wise.
He's joined up already.
If we can just stop face checking bushes and starting Barons for no reason, we will. I think this is a strong team. It's everything that comes down to decision making.
First side, no turrets taken. This is the first difference in neutral objectives that we have seen overall. As this guys, they will walk away with the Herald, and with this mid lane turret already so low, they can drop it whenever they want in order to pick that objective up as well.
And I really like what DSG are doing with their lane assignments. They got Tenacity out of this lane. Get the Jace away from the cannon. Put Young in there instead. Arrow lands, though, on the Poom. Support for DSG in a lot of trouble.
Why are we flashing that?
Takeover, but Scary Jerry at the spell shield. Ghost chasing down Poom. Handshake almost keeps him alive, but there's nobody to kill, so Scary Jerry picks up the credit.
Really good stuff from Poom. Almost lives, but Scary Jerry knows it is not enough. Takes him down, and now Maryville looking for Tenacity.
Tenacity pushed up the wave all the way, and Niall said, "Where were you going, buddy? What, you didn't like our 1v1 happening? How about a 3v1 as they surround DSG's top laner and pick up another kill?"
Psycho, I mean, he's up flashing defensively because he knows he could have gone down, but still, that is another kill as Maryville starting to pull ahead a little bit in this game. But Perry coming down, nothing seems to be going unanswered. Teleport will not come through, and Maryville finally finding a little bit of something, but a little bit surprised. Right, I feel as though Disguised in previous games would have just dropped the Rift Herald mid, said, yeah, we are going to punish you for sending so many people down to the bottom side of the map, but Disguised will get nothing in return for that.
And that's what they were doing so well earlier in the series, is always trading up or even at the very minimum against Maryville University. But this time around, it feels like Maryville have, I mean, clearly found their stride as they are on the precipice of a reverse sweep. Still way too early to call in this game in particular. But DSG just have not been able to hold the line like they were in the first 2 games. And you got to start looking at some of the veteran members. Players like Young, he just won the championship in summer. Players like Tenacity had LCS stage time and no, slouch on his own right for championship runs back in his days before it was even called NACL back in the academy days. DSG, they're going to need these more veteran voices to step up here, as well as the firepower from some of the younger players to step up.
Oh.
It's fascinating, too, right? You look at the players who are the more veterans. Tenacity, we know, is a talker, but Perry is also a talker. It's good damage down onto Niles.
Nice.
Really
good chunk, Young. Good chunk.
To find these plays around this upcoming dragon.
Yeah.
Doesn't have teleport either.
I mean, right as I say it, Young makes it happen. This guy has made back-to-back LeBlanc plays. First the chunk onto Spyrax in the mid lane. Now the chunk there onto Niles, who doesn't have teleport. Dragon's up in 28 seconds, so Niles should be able to get into the neighborhood in time, but won't be there at the start of the setup. So Young is doing a fantastic job with LeBlanc, finding these little windows, finding these little pockets.
Young's doing everything he can, man.
And turrets are falling across.
My man's on a mission.
The lane goes down, the bottom lane goes down. Tenacity, we didn't talk about this, but he also got Spyrex's ult in an all.
Oh wait, you can pilot Shelly away?
So suddenly,
wait, that's genius.
The fast
is awesome.
rotations coming through.
Oh, it's even gonna make impact. Let's go. Tenacity in trouble though. The Ash Arrow will land, so MU say will give the dragon, guarantee the kill. Spyrax tanks up the turret, surprisingly.
We get drag
does
off
not
that.
go down. MU will find a kill. Objective to DSG.
Disguise picked up 2.
They sent 3.
They
use it now. That's
down
fine.
The bottom lane will, get a little bit more money for Perry last hitting some of these minions. But still, the game remains so incredibly close between these 2 rosters. The picks that we have seen, the plays back.
I'm just worried about team fights. Man, I'm just worried about team fights.
I'm a Maryville fan, right? We've talked a lot about Spyrex and Niles and Scary Jerry, but a player that has seemingly gone untalked about, weirdly enough, today. My vote for the most valuable prospect in UG has not had the best series. But on this Poppy, he's done some immaculate things, and he's also one of the players who will need to control a lot of these front lines. He will need to start playing in a lot of these flanks, and that is something that we have seen him do
3
so
towers,
often
let's
before,
go.
But it might not matter.
Spyrax Spyrax has flash, we'll have to use it again. Perry just throws out the
flash,
cataclysm
we'll take
to guarantee
it.
Disguised doing a really good job. You just take out all the support pieces, and Maryville bringing people back up, but it's too late for them to do much.
They got dudes here. They got dudes here.
And I mean, you're singing the praises of Yuji in this game in particular. Yes, had a pretty quiet series so far across the board. But I want to talk about the side of DSG here, because Young, again, is just keeping DSG in this whenever it feels like Maryville are getting a little momentum. He's just making a wanky for him, you know? Making a wonky. How are they supposed to approach this LeBlanc? That's the wrong thing right
Funny, because the first time we had a team dinner, Young was there, and I was listening to them talk to each other, and Young was like talking to like Tomio and Fake God, like, yeah, sorry I've been inting the scrims, guys. I'm gonna try like to do better. And look at him now, star player of the team.
Firing on all cylinders to find this win, and so
you can
far,
do it, Young. I believe in you.
I guess
we'll
the
get you
biggest
to LCS.
for us has continued to be Niles, actually doing well. Is not a player that we were necessarily looking at to be the difference maker, but Tenacity has kind of evaded a lot of problems since the laning phase, and this chase is also going to scale.
He's already built enough magic resist as well that he can lane into either the Orianna or the Ken, and I still think you'd rather have it into that Orianna just because there's less chance of you getting chased down and dying again. Especially when these Ashe arrows are just sniping people left and right. But speaking of Tenacity, he gets headbutted into the wall by Yuji. Enchanted Crystal Arrow does go wide there. He's fine. Doesn't need to flash anything. Now 1v1 top side though. Young and Niles, the carries from each team. The ones with the gold duking it out, and Niles gets the better of the 1v1.
After I said all those nice words.
Here for Maryville, 4-1 now on this cannon.
That's really bad. He's our main carry right now.
That's a great steadfast presence as teleports.
Oh my God, Tenacity's just going in already.
Redraw the battle.
Tenacity! You can't just TP into 4 of them.
He's unleashing the damage. Flash out from Tenacity as now Spyrex has joined in. Shockwave available. Not going to use it just quite yet, but they stun up Poom into the wall. Shockwave,
what are we doing? Why are we just walking into them? Why, Poom? Why? You're walking next to a wall with the Poppy.
Everybody's still left on the map. Niles is hitting the top lane.
Poppy, when she stuns you into a wall, you take extra damage.
Moments ago are now going to be equalized by Maryville. You can already see the vision control on the top half of the map is starting to balloon for both sides. Everybody wants to know what's going on, but as this play comes through onto Yuji, a good steadfast presence keeps him alive with this teleport from Tenacity. Instantly punished by the opposite side. Scary Jerry runs him down, and Perry and Poom cannot participate.
Because of this, everyone has to try and help.
Yuji just waits for the right moment.
Yeah, look, bam.
Hiding behind everybody else. Poom did not want to walk that direction, I can tell you that right now. Or at least wanted to flash a little bit
because that
DSG
we TP'd into 4 of them.
There's more map control for MU, but they weren't able to go for the Baron just quite yet. Still very early for this comp to look at something like that. So instead we're setting up for the Dragon.
Let's just reset a little second.
MU control the river for now, but DSG push them out.
Let's just take a deep breath.
Guys have a lot of tools right
Let
there.
Young cook. When you get picks off Young.
Start, it is mostly on Zyko for Maryville to actually go for any engages, but there's Spell Shield starting to come through. The Nui already has one. Young is very mobile. Poom going to just stop any engage in its tracks, and Maryville, they're going to be looking for a lot of these tools where they're going to be flanking, which has been their specialty. And as the Dragon gets ready to spawn in 30 seconds, Maryville still look to take control of the mid lane wave.
They want Niles approaching from bottom side while everybody else approaches from top. You have to imagine an Ashe arrow can cause chaos, Shockwave can cause chaos, and then the flanking cannon can clean everything up. There's the arrow early though. Hits Tenacity and nobody else.
Okay, no Ashe.
Still fine from DSG, so they won't have the Ashe cooldown as the Dragon spawns. They were trying to make the play before the objective was up.
Yeah, it's about a minute cooldown at this point.
Oh, Young. Banshee's available for Niles. Means that he's a little safer.
They are already starting to come off. I mean, you get to see how much
threat they're giving us drag
on these games, especially because there's not a real front line coming out from the side of Maryville. Yuji's the closest that we have to it, but they will trade a Dragon here for the mid lane turret. Tenacity will try and wave clear that and already pushes Zyko off.
Ooh, hostile takeover splits members there. Spyrex got caught out from everyone else at MU, has to flash to safety and will do so. Very precarious position. DSG, we're ready to pull the trigger.
This game just remains so close. Even though there's a gold lead here for Maryville, they should not feel comfortable with the lead that they have. They don't have total control over everything. And we're seeing the movement back and forth from.
Okay, come on. We get the soul. We get the soul. We get the soul, man.
This is the kind of game 5 that I always look for, is both teams always looking to try and make plays, but it has slowed down quite a bit as they've become much more willing to just trade objectives on the map.
Yeah, remember how this game started? Everybody just taking their gloves off and smacking each other? We're kind of past that point. Now we're in the mid to late game stage where both of these teams realize the gravity of the situation they find themselves in. One team fight loss means probably Baron, means probably series, means probably season. As another enchanted crystal arrow comes out, that one snipes Boom directly on target. Yuji's here, not headbutting him into the wall, trying to get him back into the team. Boom will go down. That's the pick that MU needed.
That's huge. Uh-oh.
Wait a minute. We're going back in. I don't know if that's what everybody else wanted. Young in a lot of trouble here. Teleport coming through. He's trying to escape.
Just leave.
From Niles.
Oh my god. Manui saved the game.
Manui picks up the kill. Can DSG get out now?
Okay.
They have 2 members
3, 4, 1.
Killed Niles,
Oh my god.
Gold, but MU still have 4 strong. They're onto the Baron.
Tenacity's poke is immense. So is Manui's. They can do a lot of
damage. We just gotta poke.
And
come on, boys.
We're only 25 minutes in. Oriana
this is it.
Sivir, they can do damage, but they're also taking a lot of damage. Just flash from Zyko. Tenacity is
come on, get the pokes in. Get the pokes in.
These
poke them out.
Are hitting everybody. And MU, they still won it. They're madmen. They're tenacious. They are not backing down from the poke, and they'll get the rally cry Baron.
They lose Scary Jerry, but they walk away with the Baron buff, and that is ridiculous.
The fact that we even got 1 kill there.
Replay. Zyko throwing it out, and you got to feel for Poom. This does not feel like it's supposed to be a mistake, but it was a little bit too far forward, did not have the vision control, and as Poom does die, chaos erupts as Young says, I can kill all these full HP members, but no, he cannot. And Young tries to put on some fancy feet, but it pulls Niles directly into the rest of his team. There's a lot of damage that goes through, but at the end of it,
Minui got a 700
3 members of these guys have died for only Niles on the opposite side, and they are able to convert it to that Baron.
Okay. This game's going to come down to Manui's poke.
MU with the Baron buff now. Can they close it out? We said how impactful this moment was going to be. And Maryville make their moment count. Baron buff can get you a massive lead. They're already 3,000 ahead as the Dragon Soul fight is coming up in 2 minutes. If they can turn this into like a 5,000 gold
Pause
lead,
the Baron.
More gold in their
Hold
pockets.
the Baron.
There's a much higher chance of winning that fight.
And then poke them down pre-Dragon fight.
Soul. Things like Varus, things like
as long as we don't die pre-Dragon fight, I'd be happy.
Potential suddenly a little less scary. Another arrow goes out. This
one thank God.
He had the
what up, Hui? Just get out, guys. Can we just leave? Can we just leave? Can we just leave? Can we just leave? We have flash, man. Can we just leave?
I don't think he got spotted, so he could have a big flank here. And Manui also with the ultimate. Oh, does Young know?
Niles is going to spot him out here. Young does get away.
Okay, he popped the ult actually. That's big.
He really wanted to find that pick.
Yeah, I would have gotten them more structures as well as Yuji. Going to be in trouble.
Mana Corruption used. He has the Keeper's Verdict, and there we go.
There you go. Keeps himself alive. And this is the full core press coming out from there.
They're down like 3 ults. We should look for a fight.
All under threat. That's a lot of money going over to Maryville in a briefcase untaxed. But still, with a Baron or a Dragon spawning in 45 seconds, Maryville, they are setting up. You said how important this Infernal Soul was going to be. Maryville will be there first. They will clear out the vision, and Disguise should come in. And it's so tough to come back in with this composition. You just have to yeet parry into the enemy team.
But DSG currently are here first. They're using their teleports to cheat tempo, get back onto the map early, and do not allow Maryville the privilege of walking in and just establishing free vision control. 20 seconds, still Dragon. Spyrex is backing and still needs to teleport. We see them teleporting to the top side, so Maryville, it looks like they're going to take a more traditional front-to-back fight here. He's got to be very careful.
What are we doing? What are we doing? Why are we walking into them? Make them walk into us.
This Kennen is going to be pivotal for this fight.
Nice.
Watch the arrow from Zyko. That is their only real engaged tool as the Dragon is started off here by Disguise. Niles is marked by Tenacity.
They're coming. We got to hit these pokes. We got to hit these pokes.
Zyko has the arrow available there.
Watch out. Nice.
Whiffs. That's huge for DSG. They don't have to worry about the Ashe anymore. Tenacity still in the 1v1 against Niles. If we focus down the Dragon, this could be big. Niles has no engage for MU now. And DSG, they're just using up all the cooldowns. from the opposing team. It's really just Shockwave available for Spyro to this point, and there it is. Used onto Poom, does take him down. He will not bail himself out.
Renata ult is so late.
Bully DSG off of the objective.
Crazy tenacity.
Like, why are we using it when everyone's running?
Actually starts, and Niles chunks him down, and
like, what are we doing with the Renata
ult? Control of the mid lane, also take down Poom. They're going to get more even after the Rally Cry Baron buff has disappeared. This feels as though Maryville, playing such a calm, collected game, is going to be coming out on top on this one as Disguise just not able to find the engages that they need.
Yeah, it felt rough. It felt like, watch here, Tenacity is marking Niles. If everyone from DSG just hits the dragon, great. But what's their comp actually good at? Poking enemy champions down. They don't necessarily have crazy DPS on this thing, and you can see even though Tenacity buys so much time for them, they just can't get the objective.
Yeah, and even though they throw out the ultimate from Minui, they aren't able to kill Yuji either. Young gets forced out of the play, and as the aggression comes through from Yuji, he knocks away the enemy jungler.
We gotta fight, guys.
Crucially, Perry
cannot
get
use
back in time for the
ult.
dragon to even attempt a smite steal.
And now 6,000 gold lead for
like,
Maryville
Tenacity
University.
did good. He bought time away from the enemy cannon.
On the horizon, they have scaled. They have earned the lead
we
that they find
did
in their
not
pocket
make it,
right now,
like,
and denying the
worth
Dragon
it at
Soul
all.
means that this Baron in 1 minute and 10 seconds will be the next magnet for action. And looking at the gold right here, a lot of leads for Niles in the top lane. Even Zyko in the support position is going to be doing decent damage here. DSG going to be praying for a miracle, but the Saints are on the other team. MU hoping to close this series out right here.
The Saints were marching, but we'll see if they can continue doing that right now as Maryville. It feels as though they have control of the entire game. And Maryville has been a team that a lot of their wins have ended in like 25 minutes. This is one of the longer games, and the longer the game goes, the more likely it is that something wild will happen. Young still has tools. Tenacity is still scaling. He has 3 items completed. He will do so much damage, and the longer that Maryville just stands up and pokes back and forth, the worse their next fight will be. That's why Disguise is grouping up as a unit, making sure that they can take control wherever they go as the arrow finds Minui.
Yeah. Gets out of there, though. Had the spell shield, and watch for Niles on the flank here. The cannon's approaching from the bottom side, but everyone from DSG are retreating backwards. They are not playing into MU.
We just need to wait. We cannot
two ultimates used. Scary Jerry will not have on the hunt to speed up everybody else.
I also want to point out, right, that wasn't
just keep
actually the
poking.
spell
Just
shield.
keep
that was
poking.
Boom with the Mikhail's Blessing. Because Maryville only has 1 button to get things started, it becomes very easy for people to move forward as Spyrex takes a huge chunk of damage. But because Poom can always just stand next to Minui or stand next to Tenacity, the players that are really at risk of dying to the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, makes it so difficult for Maryville to actually find these fights in Disguise.
They're just going to start
pulling.
This is on full vision right now. They're pulling the teleport out, and now we back off. Okay,
Double teleport.
I think the smartest move they can do.
Free two, double TP, nice.
And then reset these
done.
waves because they did not have control of
Good
those
call,
side
good call.
lanes.
Yeah, Tenacity, it's a very tough position because the Jace is a strong split pusher, but very vulnerable to just getting all in by the Poppy as well as the Cannon. So, just prevent the split pushing coming through from Niles. He is nowhere near as vulnerable as the members of Disguise are in these side lanes, and it does create a lot of issues. But the one player who I think can create these opportunities is Young. He is so focused on trying to kill Maryville.
It's all about priority at this Baron right
break
now.
the spell shield.
Seems like the calm before the storm. 1 minute until Dragon as well, so either way, we're going to have another team fight happen in the next minute. Maryville want it to be at the Baron. I think that makes sense. Prevent the potential of a smite steal and then a big swing to the opponent. But they're not actually going to pull the trigger on the Baron. Keep in mind, they are in the Dragon seat. They have the 6,000 gold lead. They have the non-committal engage. They just haven't been able to land it yet, but as soon as that arrow lands from Zyko, that is the go button.
You also have to look at, if we start looking at all of these opportunities for smite fights, Harry has not had a good record this last couple of series, and now Maryville is going to be pulling on the Barons themselves. Niles has a fantastic flanking position.
Can Perry get in there? Young as well. Watch for Niles here, like you said. The cannon's coming in from behind. Flash with a slicing maelstrom. Gets on to Manui. Varus is going to go down. The bailout is not in time. Poom's got to flash away, and DSG just crumbled. Maryville with the flank from the top lane. Coach, they'll take down the defending champion in Young, and they will win the team fight against DSG.
And what does Maryville get from it? They are saying, no, we aren't going for the Baron. Okay, they've decided, they've changed their minds. They are going for the Baron. But Maryville, this has been their bread and butter. They have done this for seasons and seasons. Niles finds this massive, massive flank. And this time, they dogpile on Manui. They weren't able to do it earlier when Spyrex tried to find him. But there is plenty of tools for Yuji to follow up on. And even though he survives for a lot longer than he maybe should have, it just matters that they finally get him. The lines for disguise have been broken.
Okay, we stole the dragon. We stole the dragon. Get out. Get out.
But, well, that's a soul. Alive. That's Dragon Soul. Perry got it. I think he just flashed in and smite stole. I see flash and cool to maybe he smited away. Either way, hopefully we can get a replay.
We got
of that.
something out of that.
I mean, they get the dragon. So DSG, they're still in this. They lose Baron. They're down gold, but Dragon Soul is a difference maker.
That's massive. It sounds like
that's something. That's something.
Of it, but still, Maryville. And so it is a very tough position right now. Disguise, they
good call.
That is one of the things that they need to do is activate other wind conditions. And Disguise
they just got on it.
Yeah, they just get it. Ooh, interesting cue, and then he has to flash the wall in order to make sure he does not die. You cannot afford to die when your opponent has Baron this late in the game. So with the Rally Cry Baron buff, Maryville are looking to try and end the game.
We just need to not die to something stupid. Clear the waves for Baron. Clear the waves until Baron falls off.
Every time they do not get engaged to work.
When we talk about moments in a series, that is what we talk about. Maryville, they win the fight, they get the Baron. But the decision from DSG finding their moment to get that Dragon Soul keeps their hopes alive. It's not over.
Keep breaking the spell shield. Keep breaking the spell shield.
Not giving up.
They're poking and prodding. And Young, I mean, he can jump over this wall and get a lot of damage down. As the vision control comes through, though, it is easier and easier to deal with any of the poke that comes through from Disguise. And now Maryville,
keep poking. Keep poking.
These waves very, very quickly. But this is the only wave that they are playing with. The top lane wave is not going to be there for a long time.
We cannot engage into a cannon.
Mid lane wave.
Focus landing. Niles takes a huge chunk
big
of
damage on Niles.
Young over the wall. LeBlanc is incredible at moments like that. Now Chain of Corruption onto Yuji. He's got to limp away. Hostile takeover. Hits Scary Jerry, but he had the spell shield available. Handshake will not land. Shockwave on the Poom. They got him. Spyrex gets the kill. Poom goes down.
Please chill. Please chill.
Win the game off of that. It's a 5v4, but they have very low health bars.
Niles has the teleport as well. He's going into
fine.
the
We just
mid
need to
lane
keep wave clear. Keep poking.
That. But Spyrex has every ultimate except for Niles in that last fight. Can Maryville continue to push even with these
Wait, he had heal as well?
Get them in range.
No. It's. I think the push is over for MU for right now.
Sorry, just holding. It's just a kill. It's just. He's 0-5. He's actually not worth gold. Just kill.
2 waves. The siege will continue after a brief respite, but it buys time for Poom to come back online. So the game is not over for DSG, and they're even pushing Niles away. Ash Arrow goes in, but
no Ash Arrow either.
If DSG find a window here, I mean, MU are still low. Yuji still low.
Teleport.
No ultimate.
Okay, think about it. We're looking at it. We're looking at it.
From Young. We're trying to corral MU. This could be the series
we're looking at
play
it
from DSG, but they don't commit to it. They can't quite find it.
Maryville, they open up the base at the very least. That means that the next fight is a bit easier. But Angus, we have 3 minutes, and this does not happen very often. The Baron and the Elder Dragon are spawning at the same time. You cannot do one before the other. You have to pick one and commit to it. And the trade is really scary for Maryville.
They have 3 spell shields, man.
And their opponents pick up the Elder Dragon. It's very tough for you to win the fight.
4 if you count Sivir.
Your opponents get the Baron. How do you push the waves? It is so difficult for Maryville to end this game because they don't have the redundancy in any of their plays. They have to bait Disguise into the wrong plays, and Disguise has to take.
We just need to not fall for a bait.
DSG were on match point after game 2. Maryville.
We need to not fall for any of the baits.
Game 5, but none of that matters. It's an 8,000 gold lead for Maryville. It's Dragon Soul to DSG, and it all comes down to this next fight.
This is tough because us going into them is bad.
Versus Baron in 2 minutes' time. Seems like both of the teams are going to play a very patient next 2 minutes, not looking for anything crazy here, as there is no more siege potential for Maryville University, but a reminder that this is the season on the line for both of these teams. If they win, they have to mentally reset.
Okay,
and go
who's doing Baron and who's doing Elder?
5 tomorrow against TLC. Winner of that going to the live finals on April 1st at the Riot Games Arena. This means so much to all the players that you see on your screen right now, and you have to imagine that's weighing on their hearts in this moment.
And this is why they need your support. We
Minute
need
20.
To see everybody in Twitch chat cheering on these
Minute
guys.
20.
Charge it to the game for the Disguised fans and all the Maryville fans. I don't know what your cheers are, but this is definitely the spot where you need
go
to.
Saints.
1 minute.
Something like that.
I don't know.
There's
There's a
no
way
idea
to do it.
actually, but I'm just guessing right
I'm
here.
sure there's a song. Every college has one. But either way, Maryville, we need to see that support.
50
we need
seconds.
To see the support come through at the same time.
We cannot be face checking. We cannot be face checking. Especially if you don't have your.
Don't have it be this.
No.
Don't have it be this. Shockwaved, hit by the Enchanted Crystalero, flashes.
Please.
He's alive.
Oh my God. Perry. Perry, you gotta stop with that. You gotta stop, man. I know Vision's important.
DSG in this.
My heart can't take it. My heart cannot take seeing it happen to Perry again.
Okay, we lost Flash for that. That's fine.
Have across the board.
Like, being alive is just way more important.
Here for the members of Disguise, and Niles has a teleport available, and oh, there is a ward in the bottom lane brushes. If they do play for Flash, Dragon, you can also. This is one of the best plays that you can.
Wait, they're going for the end.
Setting up, and you don't want them to. You charge into the mid lane. You take down.
Arrow lands. They got tenacity. He's got to flash away. Can he escape? Scary Jerry chasing him down. He got him. Scary Jerry shuts down the top laner for DSG. That's going to be the inhibitor.
See the arrow coming from a mile away.
No, they're not.
Niles was hovering, so he was keeping them off of the objective. This is massive for Maryville.
They can't afford to be doing the Elder Dragon because Maryville would have ended the game, and now they have to play this without their top laner. It's a 5v4. Can you stand tall and try and make your way back?
They're pinging Baron. Young is going to look for maybe a bit of poke, try and get a miracle steal.
He's dead!
He just dies for it! Oh, disaster for DSG. They cannot go for the Baron. They were pinging it thinking maybe we can get there in time, but it's lethality, Varus. You're not going to burn that thing down. Maryville can march in right here, right now.
You have Flash!
Slicing Maelstrom from Niles. This is it. This is their moment. Saints, with their backs against the wall, they needed a miracle, and their prayers are answered. Maryville University, with the reverse sweep, will take the series against DSG and keep their playoff dreams alive.
Maryville did it. Maryville is going on. They were pushed to the very.
We were up 2-0. I turn on my stream, and I have to watch my team lose 3 times in a row. Jesus Christ, I can't, man. I mean, they did really good getting here. It's only spring split, you know, summer's the one that matters. But I don't get it. Like it doesn't, I don't, like, nice try. They were looking good in playoffs, but they were looking terrible in regular season. I don't know. Like, the way we lose these fights are just incredibly head-scratching. Right? Like, we're losing 1v1 top 2 minutes into the game. We're eating 10 Ash arrows with all of our sums up. We're making a decision to chase for kills instead of getting Dragon Soul. We tower dove Team Liquid at their Nexus and then lost the entire upper series. Like, I just don't get it. Like, honestly. All right, we're gonna try and fix some of these issues for next season. Hey, you know, it's spring split. This is why we play spring split. We learn where we went wrong, and then we try and do better in the summer. But I don't know if we need to change some stuff or get these players on the same page. Like if some I want players that are actually going to commit to getting better. Like if people are here just to collect a paycheck, it's not even a big paycheck. I'm paying them almost nothing. But like I don't know. Well, guys, as usual, thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting DSG. Like 4th place is not bad, but we really need to clean up some of these plays. Like some of these decisions making are just absolutely mind-boggling. But I think if we clean that up, this is a top 1 team. Easy. Like this is easily a very good team, but you can't be making some of these mistakes. All right. Thanks for watching. I'm going to go relax for a bit. Maybe I'll come back on for